The year Jason Wilde, Packers Hall of Famer Mark Tauscher. Live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin on 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
It is the Wednesday edition. I'm nervous. I'll explain in a moment. Edition. It's going to be a bit of a roller coaster for today's show. It's going to be some changing of seats and people filling in and me leaving and me confronting and all kinds of good stuff. So it'll be fun. Edition. And the Hunter Vaughn is in as our cousin sub of the day for Jesse Nelson. So I can't wait for Millard Fillmore trivia coming up later in the program. Edition of Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam. ESPNWisconsin.com, the ESPN app, your Alexa smart speaker, streaming live video, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and of course, WisconsinOnDemand.com. and the Wisconsin On Demand app. I'm Jace Wilde in Green Bay. I don't know if I can legally tell you where I am, but I think you can tell where I am, and it's not my basement. Hunter Vaughn is in the Everlight Solar ESPN Madison studios. Hunter, good morning. Thanks for filling in for Jesse.
Good morning. I mean, it's a Wednesday, so of course Jesse is the midweek vacation king, so of course I'd be here.
Did he do the trivia, or is there going to be more Gerald Ford conversation to be had today? I heard that was extremely popular on the program.
It was the funniest trivia has ever been, but unfortunately that humor led to a 2-week suspension because Jesse can't handle me doing something well and getting any of the spotlight, so Jesse suspended me for 2 weeks and is abusing his power.
And the star of our show from his undisclosed location, he is the Packers Hall of Famer. He's Mark Tauscher. Tausch, good morning. How are you today?
I'm good. I slide a little bit to your left. Do a Collinsworth slide, other left.
Wait a minute. So it's got to be the opposite.
No, a little bit more. No, a slide just for a second. Because what I want to do, and again, I don't know, I'm not qualified to give prizes away. I would like for people to look at your dartboard, and the first person to respond giving us the total number of how many points you'd have with what you shot. I'd like for you to give something in your office away, if that's possible, because Lord knows you have enough clutter back there.
I got a lot of stuff to give away. Oh, yeah, no, I get it.
So Jason will give something away to the first YouTube responder of what the total amount of points on your dartboard are, as we're looking at.
So Sydney was here one day when
good
we had
thrower.
A
lot of triples.
I can't remember if I was black and she was yellow or vice versa. But there are. So do you want each score? You want the yellow score? And
total sum. Nope. Total sum
darts.
Of all 6 darts. Correct.
Okay. I'm gonna have to get a piece of scratch paper ready. All right. So I'll sit over here. So
just
people
for a
can
little
see
bit,
effectively. Yeah.
There you go. And you can Collinsworth slide later.
Okay. It is. I hung that up about a year ago. I don't know how many shows I've done from here, but it's very popular.
I like the old school dart with the cork, because the darts stick in cork better. With the fine tip, and you have to math it up yourself. The electric dartboard, I think, is one example of where technology went awry. I don't think that was good for the game of darts.
Really?
You watch English people play, because there's dart. I think that's the dart capital, country-wise.
I think
is
so.
Europe.
Yes.
Sitting in pubs, throwing old dart, and then they keep track on paper. That's when darts were darts. This electric, it clicked the 12. It's not in the board. Darts is meant to be, you better stick it. If it ain't in the board, it doesn't count. So I think the electric dartboard was a step back for darts.
The downfall of dart society. Are you a good dart player? I feel like
I was in a dart league. Yeah, no, I'm a good dart player. I'm not anymore. I was good. Not anymore, though. I don't
Hunter,
think. I'd probably
Hunter
get
is,
good again if I tried.
Hunter, is this something you you and your wife go out to the local pubs and find the places that have the sharp-pointed darts?
That's not something we do. My parents had one it lasted about 2 months, and then the number of holes that were put into the drywall that got removed very quickly because my dad didn't want to replace a whole sheet of drywall we renovated our attic instead of our basement.
How bad of a shooter are you?
Well, it's a bunch of 12-year-old boys, Tausch. I'm going to let you guess how great we were at darts.
Sounds like you should have sharp objects at all, frankly.
Yeah, probably not.
All right. Well, I am much bigger fan of darts than and I don't know if Tausch or Hunter, you guys have done this, but these axe throwing establishments that have cropped up. Have you done that?
I've thrown the axe, yes. And the key is wrists. Everybody tries to overthrow it. You got to get it with a little bit of flip. It's got to come in and land soft. You think fire it, got to come in with a little arc, and it's got to plunk in. If you're trying to throw a BB, it ain't going to work. You're not going to be successful.
I feel
it's a fun little deal, and I think you're going to see what I'm going to predict, and I have a friend that's in the game business.
Ooh.
You're going to see that game just as popular as beanbags out at Lambeau Field. It's going to be plastic, or you're not going to actually have like legitimate axes. But there is a game coming out. If it's not already out, it's a limited release. They're already going to be out, and that will be the new thing in tailgating and pregame partying is going to be like this, basically a smaller version of axe throwing. You're going to see it.
I'm glad that they are not throwing sharpened real axes. I would think that in the bar scene that there are more throws that bounce off the board than there are in electronic plastic darts because you don't get the axe thrown properly. I have seen this at one of those big savings club stores. I'm not sure which one it was, but they're plastic and it sticks in like almost like fake grass. There's all these like, so I don't know if that's what your friend was developing.
What I'm referring to. Yep.
That looks like fun. But I'm glad they're not sharp. All right. I need to get this off my chest.
Okay.
I'm not afraid of confrontation. I don't mind confrontation. I don't mind asking tough questions that people may not like. But I don't enjoy doing it. I don't take pleasure in doing it. And I'm trying to think of a way to ask, and hopefully our friend, the mayor, the unofficial mayor of Green Bay, Kyle Cousineau, is listening today on the ESPN app or watching on YouTube. I know he's a busy guy, because he was really the inspiration for this question that I want to ask Mark Murphy when we talked to him today about the financials. But I'm nervous that...
Is this the shareholders meeting? Is this the big thing out in front of the whole crowd, or is this smaller?
No, this is a smaller thing. So how this works is, I have done it a lot of times over the years, dating back to obviously the Bob Harlan era, but this is like a smaller group thing where they discuss the financials with a group of reporters in advance of the shareholders meeting, which is on July 24th. So next week, early next week. Okay. So it's in a boardroom and we get to ask some questions. And the question that I want to ask him, I think, is going to be, and he already doesn't like me, as we've established on this show. It's going to be a little.
And why again is it? Why again is it that he doesn't like you?
Why are you always trying to stir stuff up, Jason?
Well, I don't know if he ever liked me. I've always
hate you.
I've been a bit of a.
He didn't hate you.
That's more of an accurate description. He does now, though. I think it's because I asked him. Mark, for many years, the president and the board were involved in some football decisions, and this franchise really struggled as a result, and things changed under Ron Wolf. This was when he decided he was going to pick the new coach, and that the coach and the GM were going to be on the same line. I said, what makes you qualified to choose the head coach instead of having the GM make that decision?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that was a little bit of a sharp-elbowed question, but it did not go over well.
No, did he? Because in essence, what he did was he started to list off his qualifications.
He gave his resume. Yes.
In it didn't seem like he enjoyed your criticism. And who the hell are you to tell me I can't hire a coach? I was a successful athletic director, and so
played in the league.
I understood why he would be irritated.
Yeah,
I would understand why he's irritated. Yes.
Would you also agree that given the history of the organization and the structure that won the 2 Super Bowls that have been won since the 60s, that it was reasonable, maybe it was poorly asked, I will own that, but that it's reasonable to ask why change the approach? I didn't like the change, and I still don't, but that's where I think it is very fair game, and it would be journalism malpractice for someone not to ask that question. Yeah. Because you are fundamentally changing the structure of an organization that it didn't work the first time around. And you had what always got in my head was when Ron Wolf said he would never take the job under those circumstances. Right.
Ron Wolf is the reason, one of him and Bob Harlan, without those two, Lord knows where this franchise would be. And for whenever Packer fans look at it and say it's not a big deal, well, yeah, it is a big deal. How your organization is run and structured, it trickles down to your entire operation. And when you have, I like the idea of having one chef. I don't want to be in a kitchen where, I'm coming and I want to get some good old, just whatever, Italian food.
Sure.
Well, you know what? I'm going to have 3 different chefs fuse 5 different things. It might end up being good, but I'll tell you what, if old Rocco's in there, and I know, man, he made some great Clams Casino, and I want Clams Casino, I'm not going to Freddie, who makes a good burrito. I want my Clams Casino guy. And when you start bringing all these different people in, and then they have their opinions on how they want to run it, because they're all strong-minded people, it gets conflicted, and you don't necessarily know the direction of what you're doing. And I'm not saying that's what's happening, but when you have big decisions like this, with changing the quarterback and how that plays out, I want someone that's like, this is what we need to do. And Mark Murphy may have been that guy. Maybe it was Brian Gutekunst. Do I think Matt LaFleur and everybody was on board with it? Not right away, I don't. Mm-hmm. So it's an interesting dynamic. It has been very successful in the past with Ron and with Bob Harlan. Mark Murphy has definitely gotten more and more involved. I'll be fascinated to find out when and if whoever gets this job after Mark is forced to retire, they're going to keep this same structure. I don't know many people that are going to say, I want less power, just like I don't know many people that say, I want less money.
Right.
So it's going to continue on. Is that the right formula for this organization? Because we are at a tipping point with this group.
No question.
This is either going to go well or it's going to sputter. And I know Packer fans are not going to be interested in a long period of sputtering. So it better work. And if it doesn't, what's it going to look like in whatever, is the August of 25 is when I think Mark's gone?
Yeah, July.
What's that going to look like? Mm-hmm. July of 25. What's that new operation going to look like? So these are all very valid questions, and I don't think you should remotely have any angst about it. You did your job.
All right, so can I...
Very condescending, in a very condescending and
not condescending.
What some would say...
confrontation.
Jason, if I said to you, who the hell are you to write that story about economics? You don't know jack about economics.
You know what I would say? You're probably right, is what I would say. And I would also say it's risky to have me do something that we've seen fail here before. That, again... We're all different, right? But I acknowledge that it didn't work the last time this organization tried it this way. But I think this is the best way going forward. His argument was most teams do it this way with their owners. That was what his argument was. And that he's more qualified than those owners are.
Yeah, I think your pushback there would be you're the only team that doesn't have an owner. Why would you fall into doing what everybody else is doing that has an owner?
I didn't have a whole great opportunity to follow up after after I asked him that question. So I want to try out the question. One of the questions I'm going to ask today that I'm nervous about.
I'm intrigued.
Okay? So we'll do that coming up. I assume who was it with the Clams Casino? Giuseppe Rocco.
Rocco
with the Clams Casino. So does that mean Gina Della, when it comes to windows, is your Rocco with Clams Casino? And you're not going to Lenny the burrito guy. You're going to the person who knows windows best.
It's always Gina Della. Whenever anybody on this show or myself talks windows, it's Gina Della. And you know what? Summer is starting to wind down. School's been out. I keep coming back to this because it was rotten and it stunk. Thinking of my eye, it wasn't Clams Casino. It was a taco, maybe from my guy, that was rotten in my back of my car. I don't want that. You don't want that, and you definitely don't want to worry about rotting when it comes to windows. And the team at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, they are so confident in their craftsmanship of each window and door that they offer the best wood warranty in the entire industry to prove their confidence. And right now, you make payments as low as $35 a month per window, $78 per patio door. Visit PellaWI.com today to get started.
I'll test drive my question for Mark Murphy with Tausch next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Hey, it's Jason Wilde here to tell you about 5 Star Painting. If you're like me, you're probably looking up as much information as you can to choose who to work with for an upcoming paint project. Well, I'm here to share that the great team at 5 Star Painting ensures complete satisfaction in your project. From the initial measurement to the final walkthrough, the 5 Star Painting team will see that the project is done exactly as it should be. Take my word for it. Visit 5starpainting.com. That's 5starpainting.com.
What does summer sound like in a new Chevy? Find the best way to the ballpark with the Chevy Equinox navigation system. Load up the kayaks with room to spare in the spacious Chevy Trailblazer with 60/40 split folding rear seats. Haul out the camper and spend a night roasting marshmallows with the Chevy Silverado. Or feel the roar of the crowd and bring the whole crew along in the Chevy Traverse with seating for up to 8. So what are you waiting for? Click now and find summer happiness in a new Chevy. See your Badgerland Chevy dealer today. Traverse seating up to 8 standard and LS available on LT with second row bench seat, RS Premier, and High Country seat 7.
The happy hour at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton is still Madison's best kept secret, so shh. From delicious appetizers to amazing drinks, and of course the ambiance provided by that Horseshoe Bar makes Ruth's Chris Steakhouse a must-go-to. From cocktails with friends, networking happy hours, or just treating the family, and everything in between, Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton has everything you're looking for. So the next time you're looking to treat yourself, go to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. And remember, it's Madison's best kept secret. Shh.
With over 25 years of experience, TLC Laser Eye Centers is a leader in LASIK. TLC has performed over 2.3 million LASIK procedures nationwide, including treatment for over 10,000 doctors and professional football player Kirk Cousins.
TLC Laser Eye Centers is a brand that's proven and can be trusted. This was not a procedure I wanted to cut corners on. I wanted to get the best quality and the best doctors and make sure that it was done to the highest level. And I felt that TLC was the brand that would do that. And so it made the decision easy for me and for my wife.
Come see why TLC is the doctor's choice for LASIK and the choice for Kirk Cousins. Right now, TLC Laser Eye Centers is offering $1,000 off LASIK when treated in July. That's $500 off per eye plus guaranteed financing. Visit saveontlc.com. Must mention this promotion and be treated in July of 2023 to qualify. $1,000 off for both eyes on standard wave-light price. $500 off for one eye. Cannot be combined with any other offers. See details at saveontlc.com.
Time to play more golf this summer with a membership at the Prairie Athletic Club. The Pack proudly put together the new ownership and management team at the golf course in Sun Prairie, renamed the Prairie Pines Golf Club. This is just another amenity the Pack has to offer both indoors and outdoors to members in the community all summer long. Call, stop by, or visit prairieathletics.com for membership and tee time details today. Prairie Athletic Club, family, fun, and community.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
We tend not to think about right now, but right now in front of us is victory over cancer. Right now, cancer research funded by the V Foundation is leading to better treatments and saving lives. When you give to the V Foundation, 100% of your donation goes directly to game-changing cancer research. Victory over cancer is there for the taking by you. Donate at V.org, because today's cancer research is tomorrow's victory.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
All right, Tausch, you're going to play. I know you love the role playing that we sometimes do on this show. You're a fan of that,
I do.
right?
You want me to be Mark Murphy, or you want to be?
You're going to be Mark Murphy. Now, I'm still workshopping it.
I like this.
So, just in case you've joined us late, and as you know, if that ever happens, and you want to make sure you didn't miss anything, you can always go to Wisconsin On Demand. Presented by Grubel Offices. One call, that's all. Thanks to David and his team for supporting the show and for supporting Wisconsin On Demand. Grubel Offices. One call, that's all. We are meeting with Mark Murphy, a small group of reporters, to discuss the financials. We do this every year. I don't always get to go because logistically we're not able to make it work because he usually does it during one of our shows, which he is doing today, but Gabe is nice enough to fill in during the 11 o'clock hour so I can go to this. And so after they present, here's how much money we made, and here's the bottom line, we're in the black this much, and here's how much we donated through the Packers Give Back and everything else, there's a Q&A period. And I usually ask about ticket prices. Now, I would acknowledge that ticket prices do not affect me personally. I am the grandson of an original season ticket holder in Milwaukee when they were playing games at State Fair Park in the 40s, and it helped save the franchise. My brother has the tickets because obviously I don't need them now. So I do have some background here. And Tausch, I want to figure out how to get that into my question so Mark Murphy, which I don't think he knows this about me, understands where I'm coming from on this. But if you remember a while back, we were talking about how the practices in the offseason are closed. And it led to a discussion of, and this is where our buddy Kyle Cousineau chimed in, and I screenshotted his tweet that day to save it because I wanted to use it today. So look, Mark, I want you to understand where I'm coming from on this. My grandparents had season tickets at State Fair Park in the 1940s. As a kid, I sat behind home plate at County Stadium watching Packers games. I bought my dad a share of stock in 1997 when there was this share sale. So
thank you very much, Jason.
You're welcome. You're welcome for my $250, Mark. But when I look at what has happened in terms of this community-owned by the fans organization, and how many things that used to be done around here aren't done, I'm curious if you feel like you're doing enough for the people that make the bottom line what it was today. There is no draft party anymore. There is no fan fest. Practices of the offseason are now closed to fans. There are fewer and fewer and fewer open training camp practices. You're moving a practice out of Green Bay and to Cincinnati for a joint practice this year, something that we were told would never happen. And, of course, the ticket prices go up every year. Mark, I'm just wondering, is this the cost of doing business? And do you feel like you're doing right by the fans who foot so much of the bill of what we're talking about financially today? Do you need to do more? And if so, how can you do more for your fans?
Well, Jason, thank you. Jason, thank you so much for sharing the history of your family and your family's love of the Packers, and we appreciate it. And I think you do a great job with your writing, and it's a great question because all we care about is the fan experience. We've put these huge jumbotrons up to make sure in-game experiences are better. We have the tailgate zone, which allows fans that can't get tickets to still feel a part of the atmosphere. But unfortunately, the last CBA came around, and the players are going to have less practice. And so the practice that we have is even more vital. We have to keep our trade secrets. We can't allow fans coming in and getting stuff where we're going over Bears practice stuff. It's just there is a less supply of practices that we can allow our fans. We always want our fans to be involved. We want to give as much. We're doing more digital content to give our fans inside looks at our players. We're doing everything we can without giving up any competitive advantages to giving our fans the best experiences that they can in a different landscape than what it was when your folks would take you to County Stadium.
Did the coaches ask you to close practices in the offseason?
They did. Yeah, they did.
Do you think that's the right decision?
I have to really always weigh the costs of making my coaches and general manager happy because my job is to make this the most successful organization both on and off the field. And it is I hope, Jason, you can understand this. It's a delicate balance that we have.
So,
the most
Mark,
important thing. Hold up.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Mark.
I let you ask. Now I'm going to answer, Jason. Don't make me get hostile with you. I have to balance the competitive part of it, which is the most important, with the fan experience. And by the way, Titletown looks good, doesn't it, Jay? Doesn't Titletown look good? I got that sledding hill. We got all kinds of new businesses. We're allowing Green Bay to grow in a big way because of all of the infrastructure and investment that we've made for this community. So while we maybe have taken a few things back, I think on the whole, under my tenure, I have grown this thing into a cash cow, and it ain't going anywhere, Jay.
Thank you for your service. Let me ask you one more thing, Mark. Murphy, not Tauscher.
Sure.
That Titletown is great. It's beautiful. Paul and the girls love going there. It's awesome. And the sledding hill, I know people love that picture of you sledding down the hill. It is a really neat thing. But you acknowledge that there's fewer practices because of the CBA. So something like FanFest, going down the sledding hill is not interacting with the team that you love. Going to, play giant checkers or foosball at Titletown is not the same as going to a draft party inside the atrium. If you have to have fewer practices, and if your football people don't want you having open practices during the offseason, are there other things you can do that would allow your fans, who, again, give large portions of their paychecks for their tickets and their jerseys and their support of your organization, are there other things you can do to keep those fans who, again, you believe own this team, to keep them more engaged and more connected to the team beyond just what they can see on a Jumbotron scoreboard during the game?
We're always trying.
That's exactly what he's going to say.
It keeps me up at night trying to figure out different ways to do this. And, FanFest and all of these things. FanFest, it ended up being We enjoyed it, but I think that had kind of run its course. We're always looking for new and creative ways to get our fans more involved with this football team. But the unfortunate part of this is, Jason, with that CBA, and that's the thing that the players agreed to, they're just not here as much. We don't have as much time with them, so the time we have to make sure we're doing it to help win football games. All of the other stuff, there's all kinds of great opportunities. Matter of fact, we do all these charitable things that our players are out at, Habitat for Humanity, and all these things that if fans really want to get a chance to go see, they can participate in. And, God, I mean, you just saw the financials. We have given back. Oh, we've given back in a big way. And we want to continue to help give back into this community because this community is so important to us. We want to make sure we're giving as much as we can and still be a profitable operation so that our football team can be competitive, which I know all fans are looking for in trying to chase down number 14 to put up on the banners upside of Lambeau Field.
Do you think you're pricing a lot of your fans out of being able to come to your games?
We are. I mean, unfortunately, now we do flex tickets, so we give opportunity for fans to get to a preseason game. We have family night, which is – I just think one of the best. And, Jason, I've seen you down there plenty of times with Paul and your girls laying on a blanket, watching the fireworks and doing that. So that's one of those opportunities for people that maybe can't come to a Kansas City Chiefs game, which is going to be a high-priced ticket. It gets you that opportunity to have a fun family day at Lambeau that maybe will price out some other families. Sure.
All right. Go back to being Mark Tauscher. I don't mean to be whatever, because I know you don't want me trying to get you other jobs. And Lord knows I don't want you getting another job. Have you considered throwing your hat in the ring for the presidency for when he steps away? Because those answers were
let me
damn
tell you
good.
Something. I would I'll say this.
You would drop me like a hot potato.
Love that job. I would love that job. I think it would be an incredibly fun, challenging job. And I think Mark has a lot of challenges that he's got to deal with, but they're all flush with cash and all. I mean, you are sitting on an absolute gem of a job. And I think Mark understands and loves that about it. And he, to his credit, business-wise has done a lot of great things. But this idea that you can't get more interactive stuff with fans, I don't know. Here's really what I want you to ask him. Why would you not let fans come in to watch open practices for OTAs? I can't imagine, if you ask me that question when I'm playing Mark Murphy, I don't have a good answer. Because, I don't want 1,500 to 3,000 fans coming to watch my team and get excited and then go spend hundreds of dollars in the pro shop and wolf down a burger at that grill that they got?
Isn't he going to say the coach has asked me to close them? Like when we did our role playing?
Listen, he can, but you say, well, what do they have to hide? What are we doing?
Yeah.
Because all those answers I gave are complete BS about the Bears practices. Correct. You're telling me if you have 15 OTA practices and IPWs, you can't let fans come once a week when the media comes?
Right.
Get out of here.
No doubt.
There is no good answer Mark Murphy can give you today that would let you. And that's the crux of what Kyle, our buddy the Coos, had to say. That's where I'd rather have you pin him down than all this other ticket prices. It is what it is. Nobody cares. It's the way it is, and it sucks for fans, but that ain't going to change. Now, you could say you're not in the middle ground anymore on ticket prices because they're not. They're in the top 10, I believe.
Yep.
But why could we not, as fans, come and watch OTAs?
Especially with fewer
I'd
training
love to
camp
hear
practices.
his answer.
Yeah. All right. Let's do a little bit of what Tausch just did. Not role play as Mark Murphy. That was great. And you're right. What's going to frustrate me is that I think my question deserves a better answer than you gave. But I think that's exactly the answer I'm going to get. Right. We have to do more. If we're going to, what I would like to hear him say is, if we are going to tell everyone how we're unique because the fans own our team and we're owned by the community and we don't have a billionaire owner, then we got to do more to do right by our fans. That's what I would like him to say. There's no way in God's green earth that's what he's going to say. And that's fine.
Now,
I thought you answered
the
it the
other
way
thing I'm intrigued by is he's obviously done a lot of shuffling and made this more corporate than ever. Why did he have to go down that route? This team doesn't need to turn a profit. They don't need to. Matter of fact, they're always looking for ways to spend money on infrastructure things so that especially when the CBA comes around, it looks like they're making less money. I don't understand. I mean, I want the Packers to have that big reserve. They're going to be close to $1 billion in cash reserves.
Right. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of
money.
So
there's ways you can do some things. And, hey, keep growing. Keep building up Titletown. Keep printing cash. I love it. It's great for us because you're not going to hear any Milwaukee Brewers stories out of Green Bay that we can't afford to do this or we can't do that.
Right.
But there's definitely some ways that I think they could do more and more things community-wise than maybe what they're doing.
All right, so I don't know how many questions I'm going to get. I appreciate Tausch doing the role-playing. 844-770-3776 is the talk and text line, 844-770-3776. What would you ask if you're in my spot? Like, I feel like this is – look, I'm not asking you to do my work for me. I can come up with questions. There's no doubt.
But you kind of are.
Crowdsourcing. But, no, what I really want is this is an interaction that is different than most interactions that we have with Mark Murphy. It's not a press conference. It's a little less formal. And fans don't get to they can send in questions to his Take 5 column each month on Packers.com. But what would you ask him if I was able to be your conduit? Because I do think that there are a lot of fans that have a lot of questions. 844-770-3776. You can call and ask him. I don't know if Tausch will role play for you like he did for me. I appreciated that.
If it's a real good question, I will. Sure.
Okay, because I do think that you can ask a good question and not get a good answer, which could very much be the case today. We'll see. 844-770-3776. 844-770-3776. Tausch mentioned how successful the Packers have been on the business side. There's no denying that. One of their great partners and one of our great partners is Associated Bank. Associated Bank has been with the Packers since they became the Packers way back in 1919. They've got hometown roots. It's about roots, not about the number of branches that make you a hometown bank. And in Wisconsin, there's nobody better than Associated Bank. Check out associatedbank.com/Packers. There you'll find all kinds of history with their relationship with the team and all the great perks that come with Packers checking. associatedbank.com/Packers. We'll continue this conversation and take your questions for me to ask Mark Murphy next. 844-770-3776. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
To those who've ever dreamt of their perfect event, those dreams are worthy and they are possible. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With hard work, passion, and great music, we will make your event dreams a reality. Every event is a labor of love with one-on-one planning, customization, and flawless execution. Bringing your event to life is what we do. For a fun, memorable event, visit celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Oh, you forgot to clean out your backpack since school ended? Oh, rotten.
Let's make our windows.
Well, you make a great point. Tell you what, let's clean out your backpack and then we'll...
from Pella.
Well, we can't do anything about rotten lunches. Pella's lifetime warranty on wood windows and doors makes it so that you'll never have to worry about rotting windows again. Right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, make payments as low as $35 per month per window and $78 per patio door. Visit PellaWI.com.
Ruggability. We straight made that word up. How else to describe the otherwise indescribable rugged, capable, incredible versatility and affordability of a Honda SUV? Car and Driver calls Honda the winningest brand in 10 Best history. Your kids will call it totally lit. But we like ruggability, and you'll like the incredifantabulous deals, so see your Wisconsin Heartland Honda dealer today. Honda gets Wisconsin.
The workplace has changed a lot thanks to technology, and more recently, the shift to a flexible or remote schedule. Your business must adapt to maintain a great culture, attracting quality candidates and keeping them. You need Smart Spaces. The team of interior integrators at Smart Spaces brings creativity and expertise, assessing the walls, ceiling, lighting, flooring, furniture, and audiovisual systems to create places that matter in the modern world, fully functional for those in the building and for others to interact remotely. Get started today at smartspaceswi.com.
Take the long, strange trip with Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra. Weekdays from 4 to 6.
Ben Bruston, are you smarter than Ben Bruston? 3, 2, 1. What is the process of a liquid turning into a solid called? Pass! Ben, you passed on the question. What is the process of a liquid turning into a solid?
Yeah, I did.
Water's a liquid.
Subscribe to the Scalzo and Brust podcast free on the Wisconsin On Demand app.
Mark Tauscher here for Chalmers Jewelers. Well, it's always a good time to get that special someone in your life a beautiful gift. And when I'm in need of a new piece of jewelry, Chalmers Jewelers is my go-to place. Whether I want a timeless classic or a one-of-a-kind piece, Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison has just what I'm looking for. My life has been made so much easier thanks to the great team over at Chalmers Jewelers, and is the reason I keep going back for more. Visit chalmersjewelers.com to find your perfect new piece of jewelry today.
We tend not to think about right now, but right now in front of us is victory over cancer. Right now, cancer research funded by the V Foundation is leading to better treatments and saving lives. When you give to the V Foundation, 100% of your donation goes directly to game-changing cancer research. Victory over cancer is there for the taking by you. Donate at V.org, because today's cancer research is tomorrow's victory.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
I love being an orthopedic surgeon because I can help people improve their lives. My name is Ashish Raval. I'm an orthopedic surgeon at Stoughton Hospital and the Ortho Team Clinic. My specialty is sports medicine, focusing specifically on the care of the shoulder, hip, and knee. So the goal for me is always to see patients who want to get back to their active lifestyle. The techniques that I use now allow patients to return back to the activities, including sports, faster than ever before.
Learn more at orthoteam.com.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
I got the magic in me. Every time I touch that track, it turns into gold. Everybody knows I got the magic in me. When I hit the floor, the girls come snapping at me. Now everybody wants a blast of magic, 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 oh. I got the magic in me.
844-770-3776. I really don't. I don't need you to do my work. I want to do right by you as a fan, though, and I would like your help. What am I asking Mark Murphy? I don't think I can dominate the Q&A session either. So we got to choose carefully. Probably need to tighten up my first question to you, Old T. Shorten that up a little bit. Probably doesn't need to know the history of my relationship with the Packers. I didn't need that ding there. Hunter, who do you think you are, Jesse?
I'm just saying you're giving him an out with all the history to talk about the history of the team.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I'm workshopping. There's no doubt about it. But I'm open to suggestions, and I would like suggestions. 844-770-3776. Let's go to the phones right away. Let's start with Howard in Milwaukee. Howard, good morning. Welcome to Wilde and Tausch, buddy.
Good morning. I'm good. I got a couple things. Mr. Murphy, so tell me why the Packers should not abolish their mandatory 70-year-old retirement age for employees.
Oh, good question, Howard.
I wish Bob Harlan hadn't been forced to retire either.
You betcha. I mean, the 70 is the new 50, or however that goes. And isn't it an age discrimination slam dunk case?
Hey, Howard, how old are you?
I will be 70 in a couple of weeks.
That a baby, Howard.
Sorry, you won't be able to ascend to the presidency.
Yeah, I guess I'm out of the running. A long time ago question from Mark. I've been trying to find you to ask you. A few years ago, you were looking for books on the old Packers history, and I wonder if you read David Marinus's When Pride Still Mattered.
Is that the Lombardi book?
It is, yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so
if you have
there's I'm trying to think. I have a book back here. It's by Mark Beach, The People's Team.
Yep.
Obviously, I got Gunslinger back there. Yeah, I'm always, because there's still, I think all Packer fans, and if you're a diehard Packer fan, you want to know the history, the fact that they had to take out loans and
the left
the packaging company that saved them and all of those things. So, yeah, I'm always looking for different books to read that will help me keep up with Wilde on the history of this team.
Yeah.
Okay.
I highly recommend that book, and also two other books he wrote that are well worth reading. Sorry for the commercial, Dave. Is the book on Roberto Clemente, and especially one called The Last Hero about Henry Aaron.
Yeah.
Okay.
David Marinus is one of the great American biographers, no doubt about that. By the way, if you're looking for another book that has not sold quite as well as
I'm not.
When Pride Still
Mattered.
The
Big
Big 50.
We're good.
The men
we're good.
and moments that made the Green Bay Packers now available.
No.
Didn't sell all that well.
Hey, oh boy, when you write Aaron Rodgers' bio, I will be reading that in a big way. And you'll probably you'll probably be able to retire with those book sales.
Yeah.
No, I think you'll write it.
We'll see. We'll reach out to the quarterback. I was supposed to reach out to him as we had discussed when we saw each other.
Howard brings up a really good point that
Exactly.
I hope one of you guys will ask. Because you say, Mark, this is – let me ask it for you and tell me what you think.
Okay.
Mark, you're still so vibrant, and this team is flush with cash. You've done such a great job with Titletown. Do you want to retire? And why, if Joe Biden and Donald Trump can be president at 80, whatever they are, you can't be president at 70 of the green and gold? It's a great question.
I agree.
And ask him, what's he biding? Ask him, what are you biding your time for after this is done? You should be poking around, maybe Pearson, to see if you can't keep this gig.
You're going to have a lot of you're going to have to fill more time in your life.
If you can somehow do that, legendary status, at least for tomorrow on our show.
And did you know that Gerald Ford was never elected as president or vice
president? Yeah.
Sorry, Hunter. Yeah. Let's get to another call, 844-770-3776. Let's get to Spencer in Minnesota. Spencer, good morning, buddy. You going to do my work for me?
I was going to say, for the love of God, please don't give Mark Murphy any ideas for sticking around for a few more years. One thing, Jason, I have a question. The new expansion that they've been working on, did that include a underground players parking lot?
It did. It does. It is, yes.
So I don't want to take up too much time, but I was one of those
we don't pay
railbirds
attention
back
to
in
the
the
clock
day,
anyway. Go right ahead.
14. Okay, cool. So one thing that I loved about training camp, because I'd go to practice and all that when I was a little kid with my bike. No one ever chose my bike. Thanks, Mark. But hanging out by the players'
bike
parking
thanks.
lot.
Hey, let me
was
tell you
always
something,
a thing.
Spencer. Your bike thanks you that I didn't pick your bike.
But anyways, one of the nice things about Green Bay is obviously the bike riding thing, which they've turned into a corporate event. Once again, thanks, Mark Murphy. But this putting the players underground, and maybe I'm thinking too much about it, is another way that they're separating the team from the fans. So
No doubt.
I think you can throw that in with FanFest and everything else. The question I would ask him, and I've reached out on Twitter too, is I'd want to ask Mark if he regrets, he'd never say it, but if he regrets or if he thinks he did too much on the football side of things. I really wonder if one of the biggest things over this team right now is the way Matt is handling his coaching staff, and I wonder if he's more protective over his guys like Jason Vrabel, like Joe Barry, obviously, and he's holding on to these guys longer because when he first came into town, he didn't have full say on keeping or getting rid of Mike Pettin, which I did agree with keeping him on. but the special teams coordinator and Darren Rizzi, and how allegedly, according to Silverstein, Matt wasn't allowed to pick his special teams coordinator because he was too expensive. That led to Sean Meninga, which led to Maurice Drayton, which led to the Niners getting the playoffs.
Yeah. Things do. That's a great question. I don't know if we'll get into the minutia of coaching decisions because now he does have full autonomy of his coaching staff. But Spencer's right, Tausch. That's not how it was. He was a rookie head coach. They basically more or less told him to keep Pettin, which I agree with Spencer. That was actually a smart thing to do. Gave him a guy who'd been a head coach before. It was actually good for him. Probably would have been even better for him to keep him. But they're in a different place than they were when Matt LaFleur was a first-year coach. At the same time, and I don't know how to ask this, but there is a question to be asked about what level of pressure or grace period do your general manager and coach get when you're hitting the reset button at quarterback?
Another good question. Yeah, what if this season goes sour, how accountable is everybody going to be? And who makes the call, since you're going to be on your way out, is that still your decision to make if the season goes sour? Those are all interesting. It won't give you a great answer, but it's an interesting to get. The thing with Mark, too, you can get Mark to talk. I hope old boy from Eau Claire, the guy that broke the Rogers story, I hope he's down there at this meeting because he did a fantastic job. I'd love to hear him get Mark to open back up.
844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. You can send your questions via the text portion of the talk and text line, or you can give us a call, 844-770-3776. Nick Saban turns 72 this season. There's no mandatory retirement age for him. He's still coaching.
Here's a poll. I want to poll this.
Okay.
Do you wish the Packers changed their ownership or the whatever executive presidency, whatever Mark's considered,
presidency,
to change it so that there's no age limit so he could continue on? Because basically it's a job approval question for Mark Murphy, but it's in a way of, do you want him to continue on after 70, or nope, this is the right move, get somebody new in there? I'd be curious what that split is.
I will put that poll in the field. I know if I polled, do you approve of the work that Kohler Services did to renovate your bathroom, it would be more than just a canyon.
Big time canyon. And you know what? You should treat yourself. It's been a hot summer. You don't want to be in some dingy old stinky stank shower. Treat yourself to a new one this summer with Kohler Services, a local end-to-end bath and shower design and remodel service brought to you by Kohler, a family-owned business in Wisconsin for 150 years. And you think quality, luxury, premium Wisconsin brands, Kohler's at the top of that list, and it's the only manufacturer offering fast, professional installation and care for life. You can start enjoying your shower or bath right now with a special offer. Just go to kswisconsin.com. That's kswisconsin.com to request your free quote, and tell them that Old T sent you. Again, that's kswisconsin.com.
Wait, do they really want people to tell them that Old T sent them? Is that what? Is that you say? Old T?
I actually had talked to Doug and the team, and they said, "Yeah, Old T, you can be Old T and get a new shower. It's a perfect way to do it."
More of your questions for Mark Murphy next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com. Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Alex Strofe.
This Badger Minute brought to you by your Badgerland Chevy dealers, proud supporters of Badger Athletics. Go to BadgerlandChevy.com. Wisconsin football wide receiver Chimray Dike joined Rutledge and Hamilton on ESPN Madison last week and talked about the excitement in the program under the new regime led by head coach Luke Fickell entering the season.
I expect to, go out and win every game. The way Coach Fickell and the rest of the staff prepares, that's what we're ready for. We don't take the rest of the Big Ten for granted. We know, it's going to take a lot, and, we have to be prepared every single week, but, I have a lot of confidence in my guys.
Find the full interview with Chimray Dike on Wisconsin On Demand or wherever you get your podcasts.
Pella's window and door design options are virtually limitless. Customize your order by August 31st, and you could bundle and save big at PellaWI.com.
Tauscher here, and our family, we have been looking to make the switch to solar for quite some time now, and we weren't even really sure where to start. And then we met the team over at Everlight Solar, and from the very first conversation, they have kept the process simple while also educating us on the benefits of solar. And man, are we happy we did. Not only are we saving a ton of money, but we're also creating a greener environment for our family and the whole community. Learn more at everlightsolar.com and schedule a no-cost consultation today.
When you're injured, call Wisconsin's own Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. Proudly serving Wisconsin for over 30 years and proudly partnering with Wilde and Tausch. Miss any of the show? Find it with Wisconsin On Demand. Presented by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Step right up to Metro Ford of Madison this July. Find the 2023 Ford Bronco Sport available at 3.9 APR financing for 66 months. Choose from a Chromebook, $500 Visa gift card, or a 4K smart TV with the purchase of a new vehicle at Metro Ford of Madison.
Olson Toon has been customizing both residential and commercial outdoor living spaces since 1997. Matt Hamilton here from ESPN Madison. For over 50 years of combined experience in their management and design teams, Olson Toon has become one of Wisconsin's premier building and landscaping outdoor living firms. Landscaping and maintenance, irrigation, concrete work, pools, and more. If you have an outdoor living need, Olson Toon is here to help. Go to olsontoon.com to get started on your home project today. That's olsontoon.com.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
Brunch is back at all the Madison area Great Dane pubs. Every Saturday and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Enjoy a robust brunch menu, ranging from the classic Daner's breakfast to the Playa burrito, and everything sweet and savory in between. And featuring specialty mimosas, cocktails, and mocktails, it's everything you'd expect from brunch at the Great Dane. Check it out on Saturdays and Sundays at your favorite spot, downtown, Hilldale, Fitchburg, or East Madison. For more information, head to greatdanepub.com/brunch. Pick your pub and let's do brunch.
Hi, I'm Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock with Retirement Income Strategies. And what sets us apart is we're an independent, family-run office. We help clients like you understand the financial world and build a portfolio that's in your best interest. To learn more, go to madisonmoneyguy.com.
For official rules and more information about every contest on 100.5 ESPN, visit ESPNWisconsinContest.com. That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN app.
The biggest games play on Zimbrick Honda's Prep Mania.
Kick is blocked.
Here we go again.
We've got ourselves a tie ball game.
Live games return this fall on 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
844-770-3776. I've gotten a bunch of tweets, and I want to get to one of them when we kick off the 10 o'clock hour before we move on from this. Tausch, I will get that poll in the field at your behest because I do think it's a really good one. If we take out the age requirement, which I'm not going to do because that's how we're going to get like an approval rating without actually asking for the approval rating, obviously. But how do you decipher between the job he's done from a business perspective and the job that the organization has done and the people that are under him? Because Brian Gutekunst and Russ Ball and Matt LaFleur are all on the same plane on their organizational flow chart. Business, booming, great. Got the draft, all these great things, awesome. How do you grade him on that side of it, clearly an A, versus the football side of it then?
Yeah, it's a great question, and I think the big stain on Mark Murphy's resume, football-wise, is how the organization handled Ted Thompson's departure and the timing of it and how they approached it. It was fairly obvious, I think, to most that was it probably 2015-16, things started heading in a downward cycle. And you ended up with a lot of turmoil, I would say, as far as how that building was operating. And it led to some poor drafts. It led to a Ladarius Gunter lining up with Julio Jones. And it led to LaTroy Guion playing right guard. And it's not that that just shows you kind of where it was at. And it led to Mike McCarthy's downfall, that relationship. That is the part of his tenure that I think deserves the most examination.
Scrutiny.
Because hiring Matt LaFleur has been good. Brian Gutekunst, you can argue whether or not they've had a lot of success. Have they gotten that next championship? Mark Murphy is always going to be able to walk out of here saying, hey, I won a world championship. Mm-hmm. Not many people can say that. Jerry Jones hasn't had a championship as recently as Mark Murphy.
Right.
So Mark Murphy's overall football side of it, times have been pretty good. Not as good as everybody hoped, and Mark would be the first to tell you that. But I think looking at how the organization operated from that loss to the Seattle Seahawks, the gut-wrencher, to the firing of Mike McCarthy, that era I did not think was managed very well. And I would venture to say Mark Murphy would tell you that too. And that is probably the most critical portion because that set you up to have to kind of reset your organization when you probably could have done it and handled it in a better way.
I know one thing that is handled very well up here is the bike riding, the Dream Drive presented by American Family Insurance. And they're obviously a great partner of ours. And they're also a great partner of the Badgers.
They are indeed, and we're excited. Jason and Jesse will be up there. I'm going to be making sure I'm available when Dream Drive opens. We get Dan Kelly, one of our Hall of Fame guests, will be in attendance too. That's next week already, which is crazy. And Badger fans, AmFam is giving you and a friend a VIP experience at a Badger football or basketball game during the 2023 season. You and a friend receive pregame sideline or courtside passes, tour of the facility, tons of great merch to support your Wisconsin Badgers. Enter today at amfam.com/Badgers. That's amfam.com/Badgers. No purchase is necessary. Dream fearlessly and insure carefully.
I will get the poll in the field, and I have one more question for Mark Murphy that has come via Twitter that I want to bounce off Tausch before we move on and we get ready for Uncle Homer. That's all ahead in the 10 o'clock hour, which starts in 2 minutes. Stick around. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Are you dreaming of a new look? Let the pros at 5 Star Painting bring color to your world, to your interior, exterior, cabinets, and more. We make it easy with online scheduling, free on-site estimates, and a dedicated project manager on every job. Uneasy about hiring a contractor? We know, we've been there. 5 Star Painting is customer-focused and quality-driven, exceeding expectations every time. Call or visit 5starpainting.com today. 5 Star Painting, a neighborly company.
Hey, this is Craig Karmazin. Join Kyle Wallace and me every Sunday morning for Sunday Karma on a Good Karma Brands radio station, 100.5 ESPN, WTLX, Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
What is up, Madison? I'm Hunter Vaughn. Your Sports Center update is brought to you by Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison for generations. Check them out at 220 State Street and online at goodmansjewelers.com. Packers training camp is only a week away now, and coming into camp, are the Packers at all being disrespected? ESPN's Dan Orlovsky doesn't think so, as he was on Get Up yesterday morning.
To sit there and say they're the most disrespected team in the NFL, I think they're a playoff team if Jordan Love doesn't stink. I've said that for months now, so I understand where that premise is. It's more just we just don't know if that young talent is all going to pan out this year.
You can stay up to date on all things Green Bay here on ESPN Madison or over at ESPNWisconsin.com. In Major League Baseball, it was some early inning struggles for the Milwaukee Brewers last night as they allowed 3 runs to the Philadelphia Phillies in the first 3 innings and ended up losing 4-3. They're back at it against Philly for another 5:40 first pitch tonight with Colin Ray on the mound. Wilde and Tausch continues
Metro
now.
Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
I've been grinding so long, been trying it for years. And I got nothing to show, just climbing this rope right here. And if there's a man upstairs, he kept bringing me rain. But I've been sending up prayers and something's changed. I think I finally found my hallelujah. I've been waiting for this moment all my life. Now all my dreams are coming true, yeah. I've been waiting for this moment. It's good to be alive right about now. Good, 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 good to be alive right about now. Good, 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 good to be alive right about now.
The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch begins now. The poll on the cusp of being in the field. Tausch, I just want to get your approval on this approval rating, but not really an approval rating poll. Packers president Mark Murphy will turn 70, the team's mandatory retirement age, on July 13th, 2025. As a fan, do you think the team should abolish the mandatory retirement age so Murphy could continue as president? Yes? No?
Yeah. I'm torn on this because I actually think we should get some new leadership, but I don't think it should be 70. Like, I think if Bob Harlan was still running it and he was 72, I don't understand. 70 is not your dad's 70. Times have changed. And people are, I don't need, even though I believe the actual lifespan is gone down, it feels like, don't Google it and check. I
am. That's
with
what I'm
COVID
doing right
and
now.
everything else,
Yep.
I think things have dropped. I think we have to acknowledge that times have changed, and with tech, just like players are playing longer, I do not think we should have an age restriction on leadership, except for presidency. That you should do 75 should be. I think you should bump that up to 75 rather than 70. That's what I would say.
According to the CDC, life expectancy at birth in the United States declined by nearly a year from 2020 to 2021. Now, I don't know if that's COVID-related, what that is. According to new data, that declined from 77 to 76.1.
So I was right, is what you're saying.
So you were right. It took the well, you were right in recent times.
That's what I was talking about.
Right, because it's the lowest rate since 1996. So it had been going up and up and up and up and up, and now it went down. All right. So speaking of going up and up and up and up and then going down, Mark Murphy's tenure as Packers president, he was coming into the presidency when you guys went to the 2007 NFC Championship game. Then he dealt with the Favre departure, and then you guys obviously won the Super Bowl in 2010. This was the question I wanted to get to from Marcus via Twitter. And he was nice enough to put it as if I am addressing Mark. Mark, most people want to leave a place better than they found it. With your tenure coming to a close, how have you set up this franchise to win long-term and sustain success at the highest level moving forward? I don't know what kind of answer that will get. I don't know if I'll ask it because there's a chance for filibustering there. But do you think that he has set this organization up to win long term? I think that he has set this team up to be in a very crucial period of transition where if it goes well, then the answer is yes. But if it goes poorly, it could get really interesting and really challenging for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, that's going to be all contingent on Jordan Love.
Yeah.
I mean, if he's right on Jordan Love, the franchise is set for a long time. If he's not, whoever's coming in behind him will be in a position to reset the franchise again. So I don't have the answer, and I think if Mark would say yes, well, because from a financial standpoint and we have good people in charge, well, if you don't win this year and you struggle next year, there'll be a wholesale change by everybody. So it's easy to have, where Bob Harlan made that transition, but Mark Murphy, if Aaron Rodgers ain't right, is Bob Harlan saying I left you a lot better than you did? I mean, obviously Bob could say that because of where he started.
Right.
Mark Murphy started up in the penthouse. Is he still in the penthouse? I mean, if Aaron Rodgers was the quarterback and he was going to be an MVP and they had another great year and NFC Championship game loss or whatever it is, you can make that claim. But if this season goes south and Jordan Love isn't any good, it's really hard for anyone to say, yeah, he's left this team in great shape. It'll be a reset or a recombobulation, whatever you want to say, for whomever takes over for Mark.
There was a text from John in West Bend, and it's on the video feed right now. Again, you can watch us on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube.
Anybody get that number of dart scores?
I have not been monitoring YouTube comments. I figure that falls under.
I can't tell if that's a
Hunter's
triple
purview.
13 over there, or if that's the one I can't. I see a triple 17. I see a triple 19. I don't know if that was a single 15, and then you got a 13. And it looks like a 5 with a bullseye. Is that an accurate assessment?
So do you want me to go through it?
No.
We could do that during a break and then unveil the number.
Tausch loves a good in-break trivia question, that's for sure.
I do.
So I wanted to get to this question before we move on and before we get to Homer and we play trivia. John in West Bend. Recently, Mark Tauscher mentioned how your job would be really enjoyable for him. Parentheses, so recently that it was about 10 minutes ago. Is he someone you would consider bringing in to groom him or get him ready to take over when you retire? Okay, so this is obviously a joke. Not that you wouldn't be great in this job.
I don't think it should be a joke, but yeah, I understand he would not.
But it is.
That,
he's not asking you. Do you think that they have in mind his replacement right now today? Because remember, we ended up with Mark Murphy because Bob Harlan had two replacements in mind. First, he had John Jones, who was his right-hand man getting the stadium redevelopment done. And then when John Jones had a health issue and some things went sideways there, then it was Jason Weed, who was a young up-and-comer in the business side, Green Bay guy, lawyer. He was the corporate counsel for them. And I think Bob was disappointed when the board chose Mark Murphy instead of Jason to be the next president. So do you think
that's a fair assessment? Yeah.
I would assume that there are two guys that spring to mind with this question, and unfortunately you're not one of them. The two guys that I think of are Ed Policy, who was the spearhead for Titletown and whose father, Carmen Policy, obviously ran the San Francisco 49ers very successfully in the 80s and 90s. And then the other guy, and I mentioned this guy to Mike McCarthy when I was talking to him on the phone the other day, Rob Davis. Now, I don't know if Rob Davis is quite ready for right now, if he needs more time in an administrative business side role in the organization before he would ascend to that presidency.
Rob's like 55, man.
Right, but I agree. What I'm saying is he hasn't worked in this side of the football operation, right? He was Mike McCarthy's guy.
Yeah, I get
he
what
was
you're
in
saying.
the player programs.
He did a bunch of business stuff in Green Bay for a long time before he went back to Dallas too. So,
Right,
but yeah,
right.
okay.
So I like him as a candidate for sure. I'm not saying that he shouldn't get it now. I'm just saying he would have to overcome the perception that he doesn't have quite as much experience in this arena to be able to ascend to it.
Yeah.
Now. Those are the two guys that I would
don't-
see on that short list for me.
I think you better put Gabrielle Dow on that list. I think she's going to be a prohibitive favorite for that job. That's what I think. Whether or not that's a good hire or not, that's up for the board to decide. She will be a player in this whole scenario.
And she was obviously the point person on the efforts to get the NFL draft to Green Bay. So that is certainly a feather in her cap for that as well. All right. We need to play some trivia. I want to thank Jesse Nelson publicly, not for suspending Hunter, because that seemed to be that was a little harsh.
It was a power trip. Call it what it was.
But you would agree that perhaps you deserved some sort of rebuke.
Absolutely not.
No.
That was the most entertaining trivia has ever been on this show, and I will stand by my choices for those questions.
Tausch.
I'll say this. I hadn't laughed that hard in trivia in a long time.
See? I know how to make good content, and I'm being punished for it. I don't like it, and I'm mad. This is a suspension in protest. We might have to bring it up to the league office.
All right. Well, we will somehow move forward without Hunter doing the trivia. Instead, as much as I'd like to ask questions like, where is the Gerald Ford Library located?
Grand Rapids, Michigan, by the way.
Yes, I figured you would know something like that. Yes. We will do the trivia that is assigned for today by Jesse. And that trivia is Wisconsin Geography Wednesday.
Oh, do I love this? My favorite part of the of trivia is this. This is
and it turns
fantastic.
out that while Hunter is on suspension, Jamie and Mequan did the questions, so Jesse didn't have to do that work either.
Just wait a second. He didn't even do the geography questions. And what are the odds Jamie's going to get at least one wrong? Because Jesse, every geography one,
yeah, oh yeah,
he has not had 1 week where we haven't had some type of controversy.
Yep, nope, 100% true. Millard Fillmore was the 13th president, and I thought maybe that's who we would get trivia for today. So caller 13, 844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. Caller 13 for Wilde and Tausch trivia. Tausch, you want to take this opportunity to tell us about Fortrea, which is formerly known, of course, as LabCorp. LabCorp.
They were formerly known as LabCorp Clinical Trials, but they've become Fortrea Clinical Trials. It's Fortrea. Again, FortreaClinicalTrials.com. Same great people, same great location for over 40 years in the business. And if you're looking for a little extra spending cash and you can't get Mark Murphy and the Titletown Fund to get you some, we have a great option. A couple of different studies for you to look at. Healthy adults ages 18 to 60 with a BMI of 18 to 32. That study involves 2 stays of 15 nights. You can be compensated up to $13,820 plus $300 per qualified participant. Or there's another study of age 18 to 55 with a BMI of 18.5 to 32. That study, 1 stay of 14 nights. Couple follow-up visits, and you can make yourself a quick $6,500 for your time and participation. Again, go to FortreaClinicalTrials.com. That's Fortrea, Fortrea, clinicaltrials.com.
Caller 13 for trivia, 844-770-3776. We'll play next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Olson Toon has been customizing both residential and commercial outdoor living spaces since 1997. Matt Hamilton here from ESPN Madison. For over 50 years of combined experience in their management and design teams, Olson Toon has become one of Wisconsin's premier building and landscaping outdoor living firms. Landscaping and maintenance, irrigation, concrete work, pools, and more. If you have an outdoor living need, Olson Toon is here to help. Go to olsontoon.com to get started on your home project today. That's olsontoon.com.
Bringing summer gatherings to the next level is just another thing we do at Celebrations Entertainment. Hi, it's Jeffrey. With rental items like sound equipment, photo booths, and even yard games, you can make your event the party that everyone talks about. Any event like graduation parties, block parties, or even a backyard barbecue can be elevated with fun, interactive items to make everyone ask, hey, how'd you pull this off? Just tell them celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
Ben Brust here to tell you about why your next work van should be from Mercedes-Benz Sprinter at Zimbrick European. First off, we have versatility. The Sprinter vans offer 16 body types and thousands of ways to customize that space. Number 2, we have reliability. Sprinter's most powerful diesel engines last longer and require less maintenance, spend more time on the road and less time in those bays. Number 3, we have safety. Sprinter's safety technologies include curtain airbags all around, load adaptive electronic stability program, and crosswind and attention assist. Number 4, Van Care Mobile. Our maintenance team can come to you with routine service. Who wants to go in? Let them come to you. They work with multiple trucks on one visit. Use the Mercedes Me Connect. And last but not least, get your Zimbrick Sprinter at Zimbrick European at Rimrock Road and the Beltline, or go online at ZimbrickEuropean.com because they never charge over the MSRP.
The Club at Lac La Belle is the birthplace of golf in Wisconsin, with a rich history you will feel once you arrive. Experience a round at the Club at Lac La Belle. The redesigned course is open to the public 7 days a week. Schedule your tee time today at clubatlaclabelle.com. This is a golf destination that you will want to play over and over again, and enjoy fine dining and event space after your round. An historic past meets a vibrant future. Go to clubatlaclabelle.com to start your journey.
The Prairie Athletic Club offers more for your money than any other health club in the area. Train in CrossFit, Pilates, hot yoga, and over 150 group fitness classes organized per week. Or upgrade to the PAC's new Platinum membership for unlimited access to these sessions, along with training zone and boot camp classes. Then get outside at the Dolphins Cove Water Park and the Prairie Pines Golf Club in Sun Prairie. Call, stop by, or visit prairieathletic.com today. Prairie Athletic Club, family, fun, and community.
Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison, home of the Big Win and Madison Casino Guru, is transforming guests into winners. Making an ordinary day into a big win day is easy with a 95% average payout. And with over 140 daily jackpots, the number of people winning has never been bigger. So what are you waiting for? Escape to Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison for your next big win.
Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison.
We're on the Packers.
I have heard Matt LaFleur tamp down expectations for Jordan Love.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
He certainly isn't saying the sky's the limit.
Nobody covers the green and gold like 100.5 ESPN.
She lives for me, says she lives for me, ovation. Who want motivation? She comes round and she goes down on me. And I make you smile like a drug for you. Do ever what you wanna do, coming over you. Keep on smiling what we go through. One stop to the rhythm that defines you. And I speak to you like the chorus to the verse. Drop another line like a coda with the curse. Coming like a freak show takes the stage. We give them the game she plays. She say, I want something.
Time now for trivia. And Tausch, this is your favorite day of trivia, not only because you love the category, but you get to play along.
I do.
With our contestant who, speaking of geography, Hunter didn't ask where he is.
Yeah, quick question for you.
Yeah.
What happens today if Jamie would have been our caller and he wrote trivia?
Oh.
I wouldn't have accepted him.
Why? Does it say in the rules that your producer's going to be too lazy to draw up his own questions and he's going to have a fan do it, and then that fan can't benefit off of it? I don't know. Is that in the rules?
If we're being honest, I don't think anyone who wrote the rules ever considered the possibility of Jesse Nelson farming out the questions.
That's my point. That is my point.
So I think that is definitely a gap in the rule book.
I'm not going to lie to you. I would really appreciate it if it was Jamie. That was the the questions that he wrote. That would be fun.
we can hang up on Mailman Matt and call Jamie, but then I think that would be unfair to Mailman Matt.
No, we want Mailman Matt too.
Matt, good morning. How are you today?
I'm always glad to talk to you guys. Good morning.
Where are you? It sounds like you're backing up your truck right now.
I'm actually pulling off to the side right now, being safe as we're supposed to be.
Very responsible, yes. We respect that about you, sure, yeah.
I am in Waldo right now.
Oh, you're the answer. We don't. Well, where is Waldo?
Well, let's see if we can do it in relation to any of the answers to the question.
Yeah, wait. I better check. I better check to make sure that that's not a question. All right, here we go. You've got Tausch, who is not going to help you, and you're not watching on video because you're delivering your routes. So if Tausch starts to nod at a correct answer, it won't help you one iota. All right, here we go, Matt. Question number 1. In which of these cities was the Leinenkugels Brewing Company founded in May 1867? Was it, we got to get to Chippewa Falls?
We got to get to Chippewa Falls.
Was it, we got to get to New Glarus? Or we need to get to Leinenkugelsville?
I think I'm going to get on the bus with Mark Murphy for this one.
We got to get to Chippewa Falls.
All right, 1 for 1. Tausch, you knew that one. Question 2.
I did. Ironically, Mark Murphy did not go to Chippewa Falls on that entire stretch.
That was my favorite part of that drop, is that was not one of the scheduled stops.
I don't understand why he went Chippewa Falls on that. That's the beauty of Mark Murphy. Like, why
is that
would
a question I need to ask him?
I don't know.
Why didn't you go to Chippewa Falls? Question 2. Elevationally, which I think is new. I think that's new.
It is. That's a new one. Yep.
Elevationally, which Great Lake marks the lowest point in the state of Wisconsin at 582 feet above sea level? Which Great Lake marks the lowest point in the state of Wisconsin at 582 feet above sea level?
Okay.
Lake Superior, Lake Winnebago, or Lake Michigan?
I'm going to go with Lake Superior.
I'm going to go Michigan. I had Michigan.
Well, considering Lake Winnebago is not a Great Lake, Tausch would be correct. Lake Superior is a Great Lake, not the lowest point in Wisconsin. By the way, so how much of a lake counts as Wisconsin? Like, do they divide Lake Michigan? Is like half of it considered Wisconsin?
It's a great question. I don't know.
We may have.
I'm actually looking. I'm actually looking to go salmon fishing. Anybody have a good? Joe Thomas sent me a good recommendation for salmon fishing in Lake Michigan. Usually we go out of Racine, is where we like going. You can also go up to the Sheboygan, Manitowoc area and do it. But that's something I want to do before the summer's out. So, any good recommendations?
I'm open. We'll get you some recommendations. We'll put that on our social media channels for the salmon. Good for the salmon. But is this possibly our controversial question?
Maybe. I don't know.
I'm a little nervous
I think
about it.
I think elevationally, and Lake Michigan does butt up to the state of Wisconsin.
Oh, it butts.
So I think
it definitely
butts.
butts. Yeah. All right.
I think it's a win.
Let's bounce back, Matt. Here is question 3. How do you spell Partyville? And I've never done multiple choice spelling, so this is a little bit of a challenge for me, but I'm going to try. Is it spelled Partyville? Is it spelled Pardeeville? Or is
That's
it
the one,
spelled...
G.
Oh, wait, I didn't give the third one yet. I can give the third one. I'm enjoying spelling on the radio, different than me reading on the radio. Or is it Pardieville? And you are correct. It is the second one. Well done. 2 out of 3.
I thought they should have went with 1 E, and that would have thrown me. Because is there 2 or is there 1? That would have, Jamie, if I'm helping you, next time that really plays with it. But the fact that we got the second one wrong, nice job by everybody involved here, I feel like.
I'm still a little sketchy on Lake Michigan being the lowest point in Wisconsin. I'm going to fact check that one elevationally. Be that as it may, Mailman Matt, you got 2 out of 3. You got 3 of the possible 4 entries. Have a great day in Waldo, and don't mess up any of those zip codes. I know they can be confusing from time to time.
They can be, along with the street addresses.
Oh,
we appreciate you, buddy. Thank
North
you.
by Southwest. And, yeah.
He helped us on that once upon a time, which we always will appreciate.
He did.
All right, that's it for Wilde and Tausch Trivia. Uncle Homer is next after Tausch tells you about his love for Coors Light, not from Chippewa Falls, but from Golden, Colorado.
Indeed it is, and it's going to be another gorgeous day out. Coors Light brewed with a 3-step cold process, cold lager, cold filtered, and cold packaged because it's made to chill. And Jason just mentioned, born in the Rocky Mountains of Colorado in 1978. Coors Light, it is refreshing. It's crisp. It's only 102 calories. That's why it is Coors Light in my hand when I need a moment to chill. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Steve the Homer True scheduled to appear next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Mark Toscher here for Chalmers Jewelers. Well, it's always a good time to get that special someone in your life a beautiful gift. And when I'm in need of a new piece of jewelry, Chalmers Jewelers is my go-to place. Whether I want a timeless classic or a one-of-a-kind piece, Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison has just what I'm looking for. My life has been made so much easier thanks to the great team over at Chalmers Jewelers, and is the reason I keep going back for more. Visit chalmersjewelers.com to find your perfect new piece of jewelry today.
What does summer sound like in a new Chevy? Find the best way to the ballpark with the Chevy Equinox navigation system. Load up the kayaks with room to spare in the spacious Chevy Trailblazer with 60/40 split folding rear seats. Haul out the camper and spend a night roasting marshmallows with the Chevy Silverado. Or feel the roar of the crowd and bring the whole crew along in the Chevy Traverse with seating for up to 8. So what are you waiting for? Click now and find summer happiness in a new Chevy. See your Badgerland Chevy dealer today. Traverse seating up to 8 standard and LS available on LT with second row bench seat, RS Premier and High Country seat 7.
Dream Big Gala, the celebration benefiting Big Brothers Big Sisters of Dane County. Celebrate the power of mentoring at this event on Friday, July 28th at Monona Terrace in Madison. This year's special guest features Dane County Circuit Court Judge and former Big Brother Everett Mitchell. There's also a cocktail reception, silent auction, and music and dancing with DJ Payne 1. Get your tickets at bbbsmadison.org and celebrate mentoring in our community with Big Brothers Big Sisters of Dane County.
The best quality roofs, siding, windows, and doors, expertly installed and at an affordable price. Hi, this is Bo from Ridgetop Exteriors. We're the trusted local experts you can count on for your home exterior projects. There's a reason so many customers recommend us after we help with their projects. Go to ridgetopexteriors.com for a free estimate.
Aubrey Schlimgen here, your 2023 Dane County Fairest of the Fair. The 2023 Dane County Fair has a full lineup of fun-filled entertainment and activities. Celebrating our 173 years, the Dane County Fair is putting on an exciting fair with daily free entertainment that includes Paul Bunyan lumberjack shows, stingray encounters, and magical bubbles. We have a week full of some amazing musical entertainment as well. The Dane County Fair runs July 20th through the 23rd, and gates are open 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. For more information, visit our website, danecountyfair.com.
To those who've ever dreamt of their perfect event, Those dreams are worthy and they are possible. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With hard work, passion, and great music, we will make your event dreams a reality. Every event is a labor of love with one-on-one planning, customization, and flawless execution. Bringing your event to life is what we do. For a fun, memorable event, visit celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
Matt Hamilton here for Iron Jock. Believe it or not, being an Olympic curler takes a lot of practice time on the ice. And despite always being cool, I still work up a sweat. That's why I love Iron Jock and their no-stink technology. Silver Iron technology is the how behind why it works, and that is about as technical as I can get with it. What I do know is that if I'm on the ice or just wanting to look good, I know Iron Jock has t-shirts, polos, and hoodies for me. Support this Wisconsin-based company today and get gear at ironjoc.com. That's ironjock.com.
What is dedication? People ask, how your children learn how to ride a bike and you didn't? I just created an environment where they taught themselves, and all I had to do was be there. That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Homer on Wilde and Tausch is presented by Olson Toon. Since their founding in 1997, Olson Toon has become one of Wisconsin's premier design, build, landscaping, and outdoor living firms. Go to olsontoon.com to get started on your outdoor living project today.
Whatever you do, make sure you do it right. Whatever you do, make sure you do it right.
You know what that music means. You hear him every weekday 2 to 4 on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee. Although you didn't hear him yesterday, I was talking to Dario Melendez and Tony Smith on Homer and Tony. You also hear him on the Marquette Men's Basketball Radio Network. And, of course, you can always check him out on YouTube. While you're watching our show on YouTube, you can then flip over after it's done. You can watch him on God Talk with Homer and Pip. It is Steve the Homer. True Homer, good morning. How are you today?
I'm good. I'll be back on today.
I look forward to talking with you at 2:15-ish then.
Yeah.
Our poll question that we put in the field, I'm curious if you are surprised by this. We have surpassed in less than 30 minutes, we have surpassed the 500 vote threshold.
Wow. Asking about Jordan Love's girlfriend, if she's hot? Is that what you asked?
No, that is definitely not.
Okay, do that next. That'll pull better. All right, go ahead.
Former Oregon volleyball player. Today's Wilde and Tausch Twitter poll. Packers president Mark Murphy will turn 70, the team's mandatory retirement age, on July 13th, 2025. As a fan, do you think the team should abolish the mandatory retirement age so Murphy could continue as president? I would like each of you two to tell me where you think the balloting currently stands. Homer?
I don't care about the balloting. This is so easy. Of course it should be changed. 70 is stupid for a retirement age. Come on, at least
Says
75.
the guy who's 69. I love it.
No, I mean, given life and what people are doing, I mean, no, 70 is stupid. It's 1950.
I agree.
So 75, I would certainly move it up to 75. What?
Life expectancy's dropped. It's now down to 76. Life expectancy
hasn't dropped. You found some
it
proof
has.
that it dropped.
We literally just referenced the CDC and referenced that exact stat.
It'll go back.
No.
It'll go back up. What do you mean? COVID killed old people. You can't state that and not act like there isn't a reason for it. That's so disingenuous, and you know it.
I'm just stating facts.
It did kill a lot of old
I know, and I'm telling you, you cannot state that fact without the additional information because you give people the wrong impression. People are living longer. They'll go back to living longer now that COVID isn't killing old people. Why do you do this?
I can't argue with him on that.
Why do I do what?
to give people incorrect information that you know is incorrect. What?
But it is the information.
It's
not,
misleading.
I'm not making it
it's
up.
not incorrect. It's misleading.
Fine.
All right, so Homer, we all think Mark Murphy. We all think Mark Murphy's done a really good job financially.
Nah,
Teams
I'm not.
printing
Oh,
cash.
financially, yeah, okay. Yes,
Yeah,
I don't care.
hold
but
up.
yes.
Hey, old man, before we retire you out to pasture, let me finish my sentence.
Okay. I apologize.
How would you put his on the field resume for? He's going to end up being what 07 to 17 years is about where he's going to be. How would you rank where he's at and what he's done on the field as the leader of this organization?
Am I doing a grade?
Sure. Do it however you
whatever
want.
you want.
You're almost 70 years old.
You're almost pasteurized. Yeah.
First of all,
Pasteurized.
it's very tough. Yeah, it's very. You can't offend me about being old. When you are old,
well, you tell people they're going to die before they're on your show next, so you can't be offended.
That's true. That's very
Not without
true.
COVID. They're going to start living till whatever. All right. The difficulty with
I hope
Murphy
you're right.
is that he hasn't done anything. Like, his championship isn't his. He just showed up. Everything was set in place. He wasn't in the position of doing anything, and they win a championship. Since he's been in charge, it's kind of like Mariucci. I've used to that as far as LaFleur. Like, they've been good, so you can't say he's been horrible like Herb Cole was with the Bucks. So I guess I give him a B- because – but I'm giving him credit for something he didn't really do. Any of us could have been president, and they would have won a title in 2010, right?
Maybe. Although, let's not. Now, granted, Ted made the call. Well, the decision to go with Rodgers over Favre was not
Everybody
easy.
was there from when he took over. He didn't do anything.
I understand all that.
Okay.
All right, so Homer, you're Jason Wilde today. What are you asking? What do you want to know from Mark Murphy in this intimate, small setting that Jason's going to be going into here in a half an hour?
Wow. I'm not fascinated by much really of asking Mark Murphy, but you do know the possibility that he might say something he shouldn't say. So I have to.
I'm aware.
I something about Rodgers and I mean, your general manager, quite possibly has traded Hall of Fame players in back-to-back years. I'm not sure that's ever happened. Isn't there something wrong with that? Or how do I'll defer to Jason on that. But yeah, that's because to me it's all about football and you want him.
Yeah.
Wasn't there the comment that some people in the organization were happy that that Rodgers left? That's the area I'm going into because I expect him to say nothing, but he's certainly capable of saying something he shouldn't.
How is it different in the building now that Aaron's not here and Jordan's the quarterback?
That's interesting.
Yeah, I'll defer, but that's the subject. That's the only subject I care about. Everything else doesn't matter. What do I get? The tickets, that stuff, and so I'm open to what you guys. What can he say? What's the best thing about Jordan Love? But I don't know.
Yeah,
Goody.
It is. I would say this, though, and we've talked about this many times, the possibility that, because I think if David Bakhtiari continues now, if they've figured out the secret to keeping him healthy, I think he could do what Andrew Whitworth did going from Cincinnati to the Rams and have a second chapter of his career where he's really still productive and plays to a riper old age, and he ends up as a Hall of Famer, having been a 5-time Pro Bowler already. That would mean, because they ain't bringing him back at $40 million cap number next year, that would mean Adams in 2022, Rodgers in 2023, Bakhtiari in 2024. That would potentially be 3 Pro Football Hall of Famers in 3 consecutive off seasons that an organization moved on from. And that would be coming at the end of his tenure as president. So I don't love the optics of that, of having three potential Hall of Famers depart.
At risk of not being as kind as you, I'd say you hired him as general manager, and the numbers say pretty good, but history's very likely going to say about Goody, traded back-to-back Hall of Famers, offensive back-to-back players.
Yeah, especially if they don't win with the new guy.
Correct.
Yeah.
Is that fair, or I don't?
Yeah, I don't. The problem
is getting him to talk about Goody because,
yes,
I mean, as you two both alluded to, he picked Goody after lying to Goody, not telling Goody that he wouldn't pick the head coach.
Misleading.
When he originally interviewed him,
yeah,
correct?
Misleading. Yeah, misleading again.
Misleading.
Yeah, misleading.
Again. All right.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's more than misleading. When something has been done in an organization for what, 25 years, and you don't bring up a change, that's more
1992. Yeah, for sure. All right, Homer, you're going to continue with Tausch. I'm going to head over to ask these questions, and if we get done in time,
what's the first question you want to ask him? What's number one on your list?
Yeah, it's really long. It's a really long win.
Maybe I should go
about his dad. And...
Maybe I should go. Maybe I should go. Do you think that the mandatory retirement age should be abolished? Maybe that's the where to start. Maybe get on his good side a little bit. You've done such a great job. Or at least increase to 75. Yeah, let me write that down. All right, I'll leave you two to it. More with Homer and Tausch next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com. Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Alex Strofe.
Big trailers and big opportunities at Stoughton Trailers. Immediate openings at the Broadhead, Evansville, and Stoughton locations. Assemblers, forklift drivers, and more. Apply at stojobs.com. Wisconsin football wide receiver Chimray Dike joined Rutledge and Hamilton on ESPN Madison last week and talked about the excitement in the program under the new regime led by head coach Luke Fickell entering the season.
I expect to go out and win every game. The way Coach Fickell and the rest of the staff prepares, that's what we're ready for. We don't take the rest of the Big Ten for granted. We know it's going to take a lot, and we have to be prepared every single week. But I have a lot of confidence in my guys.
Find the full interview with Chimray Dike on Wisconsin On Demand or wherever you get your podcasts.
Pella's window and door design options are virtually limitless. Customize your order by August 31st and you could bundle and save big at PellaWI.com.
Mark Tauscher here for Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie, the name you can trust. As sports fans, we always hope our teams get to prove that they're the best at what they do. But guess who's proven over the last several years that they're a Best of Madison car dealership? You got it. Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie. Zimbrick's service team takes great care of my vehicle anytime I need to bring it in for serious issues or just for routine maintenance, for tune-ups, battery checks, tire rotations, oil changes, and much, much more. They'll make sure all the inner workings of your vehicle are in tip-top shape so you don't get stranded on the side of the road. And of course, if you're in the market for a new or pre-owned vehicle, Zimbrick Chevrolet is the perfect place to start your search. Stop by the dealership or even begin the process online by logging on to ZimbrickChevrolet.com. There are always great offers to take advantage of each month. View inventory, schedule a service appointment, and learn more about all Zimbrick Chevrolet has to offer. Call or click at ZimbrickChevrolet.com. That's ZimbrickChevrolet.com. Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie, the name you can trust.
LabCorp Clinical Trials is changing to a new name, Fortrea. While the name may be different, Fortrea combines decades of great experience and professionalism with new opportunities for clinical trial participation. It's more than a mission and more than a new name. Fortrea is dedicated to moving healthcare forward. To learn more about the future of healthcare and upcoming clinical trials, visit us at FortreaClinicalTrials.com. That's FORTREA clinicaltrials.com.
Those are the familiar sounds of Pasquale's Cantina and the relaxing patio. It's the kind of place you can sit back, enjoy the conversation, warm weather, and drink one of our specialty margaritas, like the Blue Diamond Margarita, featuring Maestro de Bell tequila, blue curacao, and fresh lemon and lime juice. You'll think you're sitting on South Beach, Miami. That's the vibe from Pasquale's Patio. Now serving relaxation and enjoyment. Middleton and Verona. Bringing the flavors of the Southwest to the Midwest. Pasquale's Cantina.
Sharon needed legal help. She needed Gruber Law Offices.
When I think about Gruber Law Office, I think about how they took care of me, how they make sure that you get what you're supposed to get. Gruber Law Office. One call, that's all. I will always, always trust one call, that's all.
Injured? Call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
They are the best. I'm very happy.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Ben Brust for Road America. Make the most out of your summer at Elkhart Lakes Road America. The race season is still going strong. Don't miss a minute of the fun. Camp on site all weekend and enjoy free admission for kids 16 and under with a paying adult at the gate. Enjoy affordable family fun with the return of the NASCAR Xfinity Series to Road America July 27th through the 29th. Get your tickets at roadamerica.com. Come for the experience, stay for the race. Road America, America's national park of speed.
We're on the Packers.
I've never seen a Green Bay Packers team with more question marks.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 position groups that are bad.
Nobody covers the green and gold like 100.5 ESPN.
Nice to know my kind will be on my side. I don't believe the hype, and you know you're a terrible sight, but you'll be just fine. Just don't believe the hype. Yeah, they might be talking behind your head.
Well, Jason just headed off to grill, interrogate, or I'm not 100% sure what it's going to be with Mark Murphy. I'll be fascinated. I am intrigued. Mark Murphy obviously thinks he's done a fantastic job. You think he really wants to give up being the president of the Green Bay Packers and making whatever he makes and the decisions that he has? He doesn't want to give that up. Is he going to say that today, Homer? Or do you think he's going to be a good diplomat and say, this is the rules I knew going in, this is the right move for the organization moving forward?
Wow, that's a good question. I would generally think yes, but as I said, we all know he's had a propensity to say something that you just didn't think he would.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's the beauty of him.
He should say, look, these are the rules, I'm out, but I really wish that the whatever they are, the board or whatever the exact, they consider moving it to 75 for the next person. Then you're taking the really high road.
Yeah, for the next person. That's true because
discussing. Go ahead.
No, finish.
No, I'm trying not to interrupt. I'm working on that.
Well, I like interruptions, so you're talking to the wrong guy. What were you trying to finish with?
Well, it's, as I discussed with both of you, it's hard for me to evaluate Mark Murphy. I don't.
Not really.
You know, what has he done? He's prevented the team from being horrible. I mean, they've been competitive.
They've been. Come on. They've been in NFC Championship games. It's not. Mark Murphy is. How many seasons? How many seasons do you think that he didn't give the resources? But it's not Mark Murphy winning titles. If they can recover an onside kick, no, I totally disagree.
You're right.
Hold up.
Unfair,
Let me explain.
Bob Harlan didn't do it.
Let me explain. Was there any player that they didn't pay that they wanted to, or said we can't afford, throughout Mark Murphy's tenure? No. Has there been? Have there been deficiencies in some places? I can think. Like I said earlier in the show, Mark Murphy's tenure will be remembered as, he won a championship. You and Jason can say, well, it was handmade. It took 3 years with a quarterback change in his tenure to win. So, bahunk on that. That's bunk. But the part that you could say.
Can I respond to that? Can I respond
let me finish and I'll let you respond. I'll let you respond to the whole thing. Where I say there were issues and things that happened was you lost that gut-wrenching game you shouldn't have in Seattle with the NFC Championship game. And I don't know if you ever recovered from that. And what happened with the Ted Thompson health and the organizational I don't know what the right word is, from 15, 16, and 17, that was the part where I think Mark Murphy got it wrong. I think that's the part where the organization set itself back, and that led to Mike McCarthy's dismissal and a couple of seasons where things were completely out of funk when you had Aaron Rodgers in the prime of his career yet. That's the part of Mark Murphy's tenure I'm most disappointed with. What say you?
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with any of that. That's why I'm saying it's not like he was bad. The premise of the new quarterback, he had nothing to do with that. The GM who was hired before him picked that quarterback, and so he didn't have anything to do with anything. My point is, he didn't pick the GM who was in charge of that. Bob Harlan gets all the credit because he picked Ron Wolf, and Ron Wolf did great things. But those things about Murphy are true. The biggest mistake he made was the way he addressed or didn't address Ted Thompson. But then Harlan had a bad run in his stretch at the end, in terms of who he picked for GM and stuff, and then he had to change it. So the only difference between the two of them is that Harlan took it from when it was horrible, and Mark Murphy took over when it was great. But as far as their tenures and times, they're almost identical. I mean, Harlan won in 96 and then didn't do anything after that, and Mark Murphy won in 2010 and didn't do anything after that in terms of a title.
I would say there's a lot of similarities in that regard, but you're right. It's when you're starting from the spot Bob Harlan started in, which was rock bottom. Mark Murphy never had a rock bottom stage other than having to hire a new coach and a new general manager, but that's partly time. But I think you're dismissing, again, yes, Ted drafted Aaron Rodgers, and he brought in Mike McCarthy. But you're totally dismissing the fact that that was Mark Murphy's call as far as what was going to happen if you're going to move on from Brett Favre. Mark Murphy was an integral piece to that decision. That turned out to be the right decision, by the way. And somebody's going to be making those same calls, whether it's going to be sticking with Jordan Love or drafting a new player, and that's the part that I think we sometimes forget, that, yeah, they're not out on the field doing it, but Mark Murphy positioned this team business-wise, financially, to thrive, and that's a big part of his tenure, and that's why his reign as president is going to be looked at in a very positive way, I think, by most Packer fans.
Yeah. The financial part, I think, is just so totally irrelevant. No one cares. They would care if they didn't have money to get players, but
so then it is relevant because that's why you do this.
No, any of us could have done it. Come on. He made money with the Packers? Oh, man, that's tough. Yeah. Too bad he didn't have Michael Jordan. That would have been tough, too. Or too bad he isn't owner of the Cowboys. Some things aren't tough. Making money with the Packers would be one of them. Right?
Fair. All right, that's fair. It's fair, but he's still doing it. And you can still screw stuff up.
Yes, yes,
okay.
You could have. He
fair
did
enough.
Not. The definition of Mark Murphy, he definitely did not screw things up. And you're right. That should never be totally forgotten because
discounted,
we've seen people
for
do it.
sure.
Yes,
for sure.
Yep.
All right, before we let you go, Homer, I don't know, have you watched this? Go ahead.
Well, no, I said the Brewers won't do anything, and they won't do much, but they gotta change right field. I mean, others I've stolen this stat, but it's hard to believe. Like they have the worst right fielder offensively as a position, and like
first base has got to be right there too. First base has got to be right there too.
Yeah, but right field they were okay until the guy got hurt and now his bad finger. But his right field it's hard to be that bad. But yeah, so they'll solve that.
Are you surprised that they, with the limited amount of offense that they've been able to procure, they're in the position that they're in? Are you surprised? Because I have to admit, when they got swept at home by a bad Oakland A's team, like one of the legendarily bad Oakland A's teams, my dauber was down. And they have bounced back, and a lot of it has been the pitching and the bullpen, but they've bounced back, and Yelich being at least returning to not his MVP form, but a big-time Major League Baseball player again. Are you surprised with the limitations? You just mentioned right field. I mentioned first base, that they've been able to do what they've been able to do?
Yes, and I think everybody is. But they have a great manager, and they have great organization, with Arnold in terms of players we've never heard of. They bring somebody up, throws 100 miles an hour. So it's a result of their organization. They are a great organization with a great GM and a great program that Stearns certainly deserves credit for it as well. And they've got a great manager who is not human. He is a machine. Baseball needs to, and at some point they will, I believe. They got to cut back to 100 games. 162 games is just idiotic. And you have to be a machine to do it day after day after day. And most can't. Counsell could do it as a player. He does it as a manager, and the team reflects that. Just like you said, they were so horrible. Fine. They come back and respond right away. And but yeah, there's nobody that can't be surprised. I'm not even sure they're drawing that well. I don't think most people even know half the players on the team.
Why not have the Why not have the World Series finish up around Labor Day weekend? Let the NFL breathe. Yeah. Finish up before the NFL starts.
But how stupid is it? You
join
have
my club
and you have the World Series. Yeah, You just 100 games. You have the World Series, and it's winter. It's winter at some places. They're having the most important baseball games, and the guys should be wearing winter coats. But if you cut back to 100 games, then the games will be more important. So yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, you finish on Labor Day. The Labor Day weekend is the end of the baseball season.
Yep, love it. Yep, Homer. I always love to finish with you when we're in agreement. Labor Day weekend, World Series. I'm on board. Hopefully the Brewers find a way to get in. Homer, we always appreciate your time.
Bye.
All right, we will be joined by Gabe Neitzel. I sat down with Gabe maybe a week ago, and we reminisced a little bit about a few seasons that we had. He's got a fun little package called Repackables. We're going to talk about that, and I really want to get into this Netflix documentary that's on quarterbacks and how well they cast it last season and who I think Netflix should be really intrigued by. I think he would be the most compelling story of any quarterback in 2023. I'll tell you who that is next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Hey, it's Jason Wilde. Show your excitement for the Brew Crew's return with Brewers Checking from Associated Bank. You'll get a one-of-a-kind Brewers Debit MasterCard, 10% off at the team store, and VIP treatment with Express Check-In through the Associated Bank gate. And for the ultimate all-inclusive game day experience for your crew, check out the Associated Bank Power Alley Group Space. Featuring a full buffet and private bar, the Power Alley overlooks left center field. And who knows, the next Brewers home run could be headed your way. Learn more today at AssociatedBank.com/Brewers. Member FDIC.
Hey, this is Eric Name of The Athletic. You're listening to Madison's Home of the Bucks, 100.5 ESPN, WTLX Monona, Madison, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
What is up, Madison? I'm Hunter Vaughn. Your Sports Center update is brought to you by 5 Star Painting, your residential and commercial professional painters for interiors, exteriors, kitchen cabinets, decks, and fences. Check them out at 5starpainting.com. Packers training camp is only a week away, and coming into camp, are the Packers being disrespected? ESPN's Dan Orlovsky was on Get Up, and he doesn't think that's the case with the green and gold.
To sit there and say they're the most disrespected team in the NFL, I think they're a playoff team if Jordan Love doesn't stink. I've said that for months now, so I understand where that premise is. It's more just we just don't know if that young talent is all going to pan out this year.
Stay up to date on everything green and gold over at ESPNWisconsin.com. In Major League Baseball, it was an early inning struggles for the Milwaukee Brewers last night against the Philadelphia Phillies as the crew allowed 3 runs in the first 3 innings and fell 4-3 to the Phillies. The Brewers are back at it tonight for a 5:40 first pitch with Colin Ray on the mound for Milwaukee. Wilde and Tausch continues next.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
and Tausch, ESPN Wisconsin. Gabe Neitzel, your cousin sub of the hour. Not even the day, just of the hour. Which seems like it's a good time because, we're coming up on lunchtime. Go get yourself a little cousin subs. We believe in better. Alongside Mark Tauscher, as you guys all day have been talking about what would you ask Mark Murphy if you were Jason Wilde today, who's going to be going to that media availability for Mark Murphy today. What have been some of your favorite responses you've seen? What are some of your favorite questions that the loyal listeners of Wilde and Tausch have given you?
Well, Gabe, I'd have to lean on Hunter for that because I don't have access to the talk and text line, and that's typically where a lot of the responses come. I'm intrigued, and I think Jason's going to hit Mark with the age requirement and whether or not he would go. But I said this during OTAs and minicamp. And Kyle Cousineau, a wonderful fan of ours that's up in Green Bay, is kind of the unofficial mayor up there. This was the thing that I think I questioned and wondered why, because you're a team owned by the public that has been important to the history of this franchise. Why you would not open some stuff up and have fans be able to railbird it up in May and June to get a look at their new quarterback, to get a look at this new offense, to see these new wideouts everybody's excited about and the new draft picks and getting to learn your football team. I don't understand why they didn't do that, and I hope Mark Murphy has a good answer because those are the two things that I probably, for me, was most intrigued by. But again, I don't know how that will go over. I'm not sure what those answers will look like. But that, to me, I can't understand why you wouldn't have it. I can't remember a training camp practice that wasn't open to the public when I played. And there were always times in mini camps and OTAs that fans would be down there watching and getting a look at what we were doing from a football standpoint. And that changed, and it doesn't have to, and it doesn't need to. And I want to know why that changed.
That's a great question because I remember going up, probably would have been 06, 07, like a bunch of us in college. Like we just decided, hey, before we go back to Platteville, hey, let's just go up to Green Bay. We'll do the Hall of Fame. We'll take into practice. We'll have, a great time. And, the number of practices that they have has gone down. I know you guys used to have 2-a-days. I know the guy I do my show with on mornings on 94.5 ESPN, they had 2, sometimes 3-a-days with special teams practices at the end in the 90s. And now what? They have 13 practices in training camp, 15 practices. The access just continues to be taken away, and it just seems like one of those things that once they take it away, it ain't ever coming back. Same thing with what we're seeing for Hard Knocks this year. Oh, we think it's inhumane to show players getting cut. Once you take away access from that show, teams aren't going to allow it to get back. Like, Hard Knocks is just going to continuously go downhill until HB doesn't want to pay the NFL for it anymore because the NFL is going to restrict the access that they get.
Yeah, I have to agree with I have to agree with the Jets on that. I've always thought that it was kind of disrespectful. You have guys that put their heart and soul into it, and then the whole gist of that show is to take you inside there. Now, if you want to have the conversations between the GM and the coach, but to have the guys go in there and get cut and their dreams shattered in front, so what? A couple million people can enjoy that? I agree with the Jets, their principle on that. I've always thought that was shady. And now you have teams that will be willing to do this with Netflix and with Amazon and with Apple. I think HBO, and if the Jets really go through and don't give you that access, that is the big component to that show. And I think it's gotten a little stale anyways.
Well,
it's going to be intriguing because
when they say they're taking the camera out of the coach's office, like, are they going to bring a different camera in when they have some of those coach meetings, or are they just out of the coach? Because if they're out of the coach's office completely, what are we doing here? So now it's no longer all access. You can't call it an all access show. It's a partial access show.
It wasn't all access. It wasn't all access before. They still weren't doing the stuff that you really want to hear. Like, oh, we're going to give this guy a contract extension or this and that. None of that was making the air. So I understand it. I personally, and this is where I left off the 10 o'clock hour, and I want to, Gabe, get your opinion and our fans. This Netflix quarterback, I have a little vacation time coming up. I am going to delve into it. I've seen the clips. I've seen the Kirk Cousins info. That's what fans want.
Oh, yeah.
That's what people are looking for. The Patrick Mahomes talking trash with Max Crosby. And those interactions that you caught and were able to get after, it's always easier when you can edit and it's not going to be live and done because there's certain things you don't want. I understand all that. But I am convinced they cast that beautifully last year. Kirk Cousins is kind of one of those disrespected, I guess, middle-tier quarterbacks. And to see what he went through, you have the stud in Mahomes, and then you had Mariota, who it turns out was really interesting because he ended up leaving the team before the season ended. Great job of casting. My argument is there is no quarterback that is going to be more compelling and to watch the situation play out than Jordan Love. With Aaron Rodgers, we kind of know what's going to happen. We know with Patrick Mahomes. We know the gist of what Justin Herbert's going to be. I would hope Justin Herbert would be another one to see if you catch this season when he's making that next big step.
Yeah,
that would be fun. That'd be fun to see. But Jordan Love, you may never get an opportunity to chronicle a player in his position ever again. A first-round pick that is taking over for a Hall of Fame quarterback in an iconic franchise that has sat there for 4 years. When are you going to get a chance to chronicle this and to teach and to learn what he's all about? And by the way, Jordan Love has not made Bonko dollars yet, quarterback-wise. So he would be more open. If I'm Netflix, I am making sure Jordan Love is one of my 3 quarterbacks because I don't believe, from a compelling standpoint and just general intrigue and the unknowns that we have with him, I don't think you could script a better drama than what the Jordan Love experience is going to be like this season.
I completely agree with that. Like, in terms of intriguing situations, there's a reason that even though Aaron Rodgers is no longer in Green Bay, every other day, if you turn on Get Up, if you turn on First Take, if you turn on NFL Live, all these other shows that are on ESPN television, like, the Packers are still being talked about because it's an intriguing thing with the Packers. They're still a super popular team. How much money do you think Netflix would have to give Jordan Love in order for Jordan to do it? Because it is such an important year for him. Would he want the distraction of having to deal with everything that he would have to with Netflix?
No, he wouldn't, and that's why you have to pay him, and it has to become important to him. And the fact that, yes, he's made, I don't know, what is it, 18, 19 million bucks at this point in his career. That's great money. But you throw him $2 or $3 million bucks, Netflix, the quarterback just was released, and it's their #1 show.
Oh, yeah.
For the week. It is a Bonko
it's gonna
hit.
It's going to continue. Like, I feel like, because they've done this with other sports, Tausch.
Well.
They did it with tennis. The golf one was very popular. Obviously, this all started with Drive to Survive, the F1 series, which is incredibly popular every time that gets released. But you're taking it to a new level. Like, those become the #1 show on Netflix for a week or two. Like, the quarterbacks one is going to be in the top 5 for the next until we hit regular season games. Like, people are going to be flocking to Netflix. I have yet to watch it, but Jen, she's watching it on our show, Jen Latta. Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, 7 to 9, ESPN Milwaukee, every weekday. She can't say enough good things about it. Like, she called, she's like, oh man, Kirk Cousins, so endearing, so great to watch him and his story, and Patrick Mahomes, and the way that they're able to tell these stories is fantastic. I would love to see Jordan Love on this thing. I would love to get that behind the scenes information. Would the Packers have to give their blessing as well? Like, do the teams, do you think, give their blessing to the quarterbacks in order to do it? Because I've got a hard time picturing Goody and LaFleur going, oh, yeah, go ahead.
I would think to come on facility, yes. But I believe there is a push by NFL media and the higher-ups to say this is what fans want.
Yes.
Make it work. If we're going to go to Netflix for them to be one of our streaming partners or Apple, they need to be in business with them. And from Jordan Love's standpoint, yeah, it would be a distraction. But I think you saw how well they handled this. And if the money is right, I think Jordan Love, you can't hide as an NFL quarterback. There isn't. You saw Homer was just talking about Jordan Love's girlfriend. Ideally, in a world, nobody wants to do that. But quarterbacking, and especially quarterbacking for the Dallas Cowboys, the Green Bay Packers, or big-time franchises, there is going to be, this is part of the job. This is the deal that you're signing up for. And someone's going to chronicle it one way or the other. It's whether or not you want to monetize it yourself. And I would say, yes, you should. And Jordan Love's story is, it's going to, you don't want it to just be from other people's perspective. Those days are over. Mm-hmm. Athletes have controlled their narrative now, and LeBron James is a big reason for that, but your own production companies and doing your own stuff, you should reap in those benefits, and Jordan Love is in a position to do it. I would recommend go for it. There is no more hiding. You need to go out. You're going to have to perform, and to get that behind-the-scenes stuff, I think, obviously from a media person and from a Packer fan standpoint, we would eat it up, and we'd love it.
The
it
way
is
you can endear
putting yourself out there.
Yeah, the way you can endear yourself, and again, because I'm a big golf fan, I knew who Joel Damon was. There are probably most people who don't know who Joel Damon is on the PGA Tour, but because he agreed to be featured in one of those episodes for the golf version of this, Full Swing on Netflix, like people, even golf fans didn't really know who he was. Now he's getting recognized everywhere because of that series. And now think of the NFL popularity on top of that, and the way that you can endear yourself to an entire NFL fan base. There's money on the backside to be made with jersey sales and what other stuff you want to put out there for yourself. If you can endear yourself and show who you are, if he has a good season on top of it, there are a lot of possibilities if Netflix approaches him and if Jordan Love agrees to it. A couple of big ifs there, but I would love to see it just like you.
No, there should be no ifs from Netflix's standpoint. I'm telling you, if someone can tell me more compelling, you could say Aaron Rodgers. Now, we know Aaron Rodgers. Would it be good content? Absolutely it would be. Compelling and getting a better understanding, it's all Jordan Love, and Netflix would be nuts to not be thinking he needs to be one of their three guys. Now, Jordan Love, if the check is right, I would say you should do it because of all the reasons you just said, and hopefully it is the case because I think all of us, everybody, whether it's media or fans, we want to know more and get a better understanding of who our new quarterback is because right now there's a narrative about him, but nobody really knows. And we're going to find out a lot in the next year, and I think for Jordan's sake, it would make a lot of sense for him to help control that narrative by taking ownership of it himself.
It's also all about Jordan Love when it comes to play on the football field for the Green Bay Packers, at least according to one ESPN NFL expert. We'll get into Dan Orlovsky's take about Jordan Love coming up next, right here on Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Oh, you forgot to clean out your backpack since school ended? Oh, rotten.
Let's make our windows.
Well, you make a great point. Tell you what, let's clean out your backpack and then we'll...
Call Gina Della from Pella.
Well, we can't do anything about rotten lunches. Pella's lifetime warranty on wood windows and doors makes it so that you'll never have to worry about rotting windows again. Right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, make payments as low as $35 per month per window and $78 per patio door. Visit PellaWI.com.
In the next 30 seconds, I'm going to tell you how to save money and save the planet. It's simple. Ditch your energy bill and make the switch over to Everlight Solar. While electricity prices keep rising, Everlight Solar will give you the chance to take ownership of your power while also reducing your carbon footprint. As a local company based out of Madison, they'll be there with you every step of the way as you make the switch to solar. To learn more about how you can save money and save the planet, go to everlightsolar.com.
Life's better with a home policy from American Family Insurance because you'll feel protected no matter how the wind blows. Also, you can keep enjoying the home of your dreams. And our expert agents can help you save up to 23% when you bundle home with auto. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. American Family Insurance. Get a quote? Find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
From color-changing alexandrite to shimmering zircon and everything in between at Chalmers Jewelers, you'll find high-quality, affordable, one-of-a-kind pieces. We source straight from the gem cutters, and we manufacture in-house from start to finish. As the manufacturer, we believe in truth in pricing. Never pay more for quality and stunning, beautiful jewelry. She's one of a kind, and so should her jewelry be. While others may send your jewelry dreams to someone else to make, with us, your dreams become reality with the help of our custom jewelers, with you involved the whole way. With a staff that has over 200 years of combined experience, why buy from a place that marks up jewelry made by the thousands? When you can buy direct from Chalmers for that one-of-a-kind piece that is better quality, often for less.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
And Madison.
The new year is halfway through, but that doesn't stop the great new deals from rolling into Metro Kia of Madison. Find 84 new vehicles on the lot this month, like the 2023 Kia Forte, and you can drive away with the ride of your choice at just 2.9% APR financing for 48 months, $22.09 per 1,000 borrow. Also, get 90-day deferred payments, 2 years, no charge maintenance, and pick your prize with the purchase of any new vehicle. Get a Chromebook, $500 Visa gift card, or a 4K Smart TV. Offer ends July 31st. Learn more at metrokiaofmadison.com.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
Wilde and Tausch, ESPN Wisconsin. I'm Gabe Neitzel, cousin sub of the day for Wilde, as he is asking all of those hard questions to Packers president Mark Murphy, who has got some media availability today. I'm sure Jason will give the full recap tomorrow right here on Wilde and Tausch, along with Mark Tauscher. And over at ESPN Television, Dan Orlovsky, who joined the show not that long ago, has been, I would say, one of the biggest supporters of the Green Bay Packers this offseason. He's been a big supporter of what he believes Jordan Love can do, and he continued that yesterday when he talked about the Packers' chances to be a playoff team with Jordan Love.
I think the Lions are the favorite in this division. Absolutely. The Bears had the number one pick in the draft. They had a number one pick in the draft for a reason. That roster, while it's improved, is not nearly as good as the Green Bay Packers roster. Not nearly top to bottom as good as the Packers roster. I think Minnesota's the team that falls off a bunch because they lost a lot of talent, and I understand Flores being a big part of that addition defensively and the attacking style. I look at Green Bay and say this, and I've said this, Greeny, and you've heard me say it. If Jordan Love is average, this team is playing for a playoff spot in December. If he's average, if he's anything like a first-round pick should be, this is a playoff team.
As bold statement, if he's average, they're playing for a playoff spot late in December, maybe into January, since the regular season goes a little bit longer now with the extra week, start a little bit later in the year as well. But if that playoff spot is anything but the NFC North Division Championship, and maybe they're alive for it late in the season, Tausch, I personally just don't see it. I think this talent I think this roster is talented. I think they've got some young, exciting talent. But in order for the roster kind of be as good as Orlovsky is saying, all of that talent is going to have to develop, which is just kind of not how that works. Like, there's a lot of young talent. It's so young, though. It's inexperienced. I don't know if I can fully believe that a roster this young is going to be that alive in the NFC late in the season.
Well, I actually agree a lot with what Dan had to say. The Packers are not going to be favorites, but you look at the rest of the division, Detroit lost a bunch of their wideouts to the gambling deal. A couple got cut. Couple are suspended 6-8 weeks. And from Green Bay's standpoint, this roster is eerily similar to last year outside of Aaron Rodgers. And the premise of Dan's point was, if Jordan Love is average, there's been a lot of average quarterbacks that made the playoffs last year in the NFC. And my point that I've been barking for the last month or two is, you're not in the AFC. The quarterback carousel, there is a monstrous amount of talent in the other conference. There is not here. And when you're looking at predicting teams' sustained success, the real easy answer is, who's my quarterback? Who's the guy that's leading my team? And when you don't have that guy, like almost every team in the NFC doesn't, there's a lot of open availability for someone to emerge. The NFC has not been in a position to have this many openings in quite some time. And some of these so-called great ones have been injured or have not played well. And last year, this was a team that was knocking on the playoff door with a quarterback that had one of his worst seasons playing with a broken thumb. Very similar roster than last year. And you brought some influx of rookies that you're hoping to be contributors and maybe major contributors in Lucas Van Ness's case. But do you think Christian Watson's going to be worse than he was last year? Do you think Romeo Doubs is going to be worse than he was last year? There is a reason people say big second-year jumps, because guys aren't working the combine and working games leading into a season. They're not working their craft. They have time. They're learning the system. They feel better. And that jump needs to be made. And that's why I think Orlovsky's point is very valid, that if you're a quarterback, with the unknown we have and why nobody's predicting Green Bay, because we don't know if Jordan Love's going to be an average quarterback. We certainly don't know if he's going to play like an elite first-round pick. If those questions are answered, Orlovsky's going to be 100% right. If he's not, then we're looking at the Jason Wilde and a lot of Packer fans think is going to be a really tough year.
It's going to be a tough year. I'm still going to have fun because I want to see this roster develop. I just know that young players are going to struggle. Like, I'm 3rd and 6 in a game. Who's Jordan Love's go-to guy? Like, who's that guy that he knows he's definitely going to be? But is Romeo going to be in the right spot? Is Romeo running the right route? Does he have the right play?
Yeah.
And that's where I have the problem with the lack of 0 veteran pass catchers. Like, 0. Like, you think of Brett when Brett took over for Don Majkowski. He had Sterling. When Aaron took over, there were a lot of young, fun receivers that were coming up, but he still had Double D. And you knew you could rely on Driver. And they just kind of backfilled those positions for years and years and years. I don't know who's going to be playing tight end. I know everybody's high on Musgrave. But at the same time, I also know that tight end is an incredibly hard position to pick up because there's so much information that's being thrown at you. So I don't know if he's going to be overwhelmed or if we're going to have to go to Josiah DeGuara and he's going to be the starter at that position. There's just going to be a lot of highlights. I have no doubt about that. I think there are going to be some really good plays. And then there are going to be some times where you're looking at this team going, have they ever played football before? And if they can navigate those, that's the tough part to me. And it's going to be tough, I think, to ask Jordan Love to grow and develop without having somebody reliable there, without having somebody reliable that you know is going to be in the right spots, that the guy that you can rely upon and trust. Because it's just so hard in the NFL when you start losing trust in those guys. I mean, he's got no other choice but then to just continue to blindly trust them. But then does he start seeing ghosts? Does he start seeing things that aren't actually there? I think this is such a gamble to not have a veteran presence in either pass-catching room, tight end or wide receiver. It's a huge roll of the dice because of the development of Jordan Love.
Yeah, it's definitely a roll of the dice, and that's the decision that you made. But, hey, you know what dice end up usually rolling? 7. Right in the meat, right in the part. So you're not going to be crapping out all the time. You're not going to be midnight blueing it. You're more than likely going to roll a 6, 7, or 8. That's about where I think most of us have it. And if you get on a little bit of a heater, Jordan Love is better than we think, all of a sudden all of that inexperience starts growing confidence. You start growing confidence, you start believing that you're maybe even better than you are for that point. That's why getting off to a fast start is going to be very important, because that's how you grow and build. So, yes, it is going to be exciting.
Off of that point, Jordan Love has to play in the preseason, right? I think in order for him to start the fastest he can start in week 1, you got to at least get him out there for some of the preseason games.
Yeah, I think it would be really foolish to not play in the preseason if I'm Matt LaFleur and Jordan Love. You've already acknowledged the last couple of seasons that you wanted more. Aaron Rodgers talked him off that ledge. Now, Jason believes in his talkings that that's not going to be the case, that that's why they're doing all these scrimmages, so it's more controlled with other teams, so that they don't put Jordan out in that position. You need to get game reps. And I think it would be a big mistake to not play him at least some preseason. I don't think you can go into this and do it like you've done it in the past with Aaron Rodgers, because he is not Aaron Rodgers. He hasn't seen and done all those things. You need to see it, even if it's at preseason speed. Games are still different than practice.
Well, and so correct me if I'm wrong, since you're the former player, but my understanding of kind of the hierarchy, because I don't want to just completely dismiss those joint practices, because LaFleur thinks there's some value in there, and just kind of getting the competition juices flowing. I don't think that's a bad thing. But even those joint practices speed, that's a slower speed than preseason, which is a slower speed than regular season, right? That's just kind of the hierarchy of how that all works.
Correct. Yes, that's so it definitely, the intensity picks up when you have a different team in. Training camp practices, they go fast. You get a lot of good work in. Then there's another level. And I only had one joint practice. The Buffalo Bills came in I think 2005. And it does pick up. Then the preseason game picks up. And then it's a whole nother world when you get to a regular season game. Whether or not you want to bridge that gap a little bit or just go with it in practice and stuff, I understand the injury part of this and how you protect guys. I get it. That's important. But it's also important to play football and not just throw people out there in a game situation without having done it before. You get an opportunity. You only have 3 preseason games. Not saying play all of them, but I am saying I think getting reps and getting some game experience in a preseason, especially huddle and all of just the technical things outside of playing, all of those things are important, so you feel more and more comfortable when you go down to Chicago in the first weekend of the season.
Well, and especially because, yes, you start with a divisional opponent. The margin for error for Jordan Love, if you think the Packers can be a playoff team, the margin for error for Jordan Love in this team is so different than with Aaron Rodgers. Because we've seen, how many times did Aaron Rodgers in those teams get off to a slow start? You had the season where he told everyone to shh. You had the RELAX. You had getting blown out in week 1, and then they still go win 12, 13 games. Because of who Aaron Rodgers was. The margin for error is just so much smaller, so you want to be able to hit the ground running. And to me, that means playing Jordan Love if Dan Orlovsky wants to be right and the Packers are indeed a playoff team. We're going to dive into the world of our producer Hunter. It's going to be Woe Hunty? I'm not quite sure what we call this with
Woe Hunter.
Jesse still likes it. He still likes it to be Woe Nelly even when he's out, but it's Woe Hunter today.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't know, because I know when Josh does it, it's Woe Joshy. If Ashton Rotman does it, it's Woe Ashy. So I didn't know if we had to add
Hunty is just a weird
end.
Sound compared to the other ones, so I've gotten rid of Woe Hunty.
Okay.
What do you call it?
Just Woe Hunter.
Okay. Very clever. Very clever.
I know, I'm so creative.
We'll push Hunter for maybe something more creative because Tausch doesn't seem too thrilled with Whoa Hunter, but that's what we're going to be doing coming up next on Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Are you dreaming of a new look? Let the pros at 5 Star Painting bring color to your world, to your interior, exterior, cabinets, and more. We make it easy with online scheduling, free on-site estimates, and a dedicated project manager on every job. Uneasy about hiring a contractor? We know, we've been there. 5 Star Painting is customer-focused and quality-driven, exceeding expectations every time. Call or visit 5starpainting.com today. 5 Star Painting, a neighborly company.
John Hayes for Goodman's Jewelers. Help us celebrate 90 years in business by visiting us at 220 State Street. We've been a part of a lot of great moments, and we want to add to those special occasions. Our staff is here to help you make that perfect selection for your memorable moment. Come see firsthand why Goodman's Jewelers has withstood the test of time and why we're truly a destination worth reaching. Goodman's Jewelers, the Diamond Store of Madison, and a whole lot more. Goodman'sJewelers.com.
The best is at Goodman's.
Goodman's Jewelers has been providing sparkle to Madison since 1933. That's a lot of great memories. John Hayes for Goodman's Jewelers. We've been caring for generations of customers, and during that time our strengths have been trust, service, and selection. Those traits are who we are, and that will never change. Goodman's Jewelers, a destination worth reaching. 220 State Street, Goodman'sJewelers.com.
The best is at Goodman's.
You can drive cutting-edge design. 2023 Audis are on the lot and ready for delivery. Take advantage of 3.99% APR financing for up to 60 months on select new 2023 models. See dealer for details and exclusions. $18.41 a month per $1,000 finance. No down payment required. Qualified buyers through Audi Financial Services. Offer ends July 31st. Stop in and test drive today. Check out our website to see the current inventory and our monthly specials. The search for your Audi begins and ends at Zimbrick Audi of Madison, off the Beltline and Rimrock Road. Drive yours today.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Ben Brust for Road America. Make the most out of your summer at Elkhart Lakes Road America. The race season is still going strong. Don't miss a minute of the fun. Camp on site all weekend and enjoy free admission for kids 16 and under with a paying adult at the gate. Enjoy affordable family fun with the return of the NASCAR Xfinity Series to Road America July 27th through the 29th. Get your tickets at roadamerica.com. Come for the experience, stay for the race. Road America, America's national park of speed.
Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison, home of the Big Win and Madison Casino Guru, is transforming guests into winners. Making an ordinary day into a big win day is easy with a 95% average payout. And with over 140 daily jackpots, the number of people winning has never been bigger. So what are you waiting for? Escape to Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison for your next big win.
Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison.
The 2023 season is underway and Fun for All is back with the Forward Madison FC Family Special on sale now. Bring the family to exciting professional soccer at Breeze Stevens Field. Enjoy a ticket, Pepsi product, sandwich, and a Forward Madison scarf for just $21. Forward Madison has fun for the whole family. Enjoy Lionella Vessi, the team's dairy cow, our new kids zone, and more at every Forward Madison match. For tickets, go to forwardmadisonfc.com. Forward Madison, fun for all.
If you're looking to fill the vacant space in your commercial building, the local agents at RE/MAX and the Preferred Commercial Group are eager to grow your bottom line. Head to commercialwisconsin.com/ESPN and find an investment partner to lead the way to your property dreams today.
For official rules and more information about every contest on 100.5 ESPN, visit ESPNWisconsinContests.com. That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN app.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Wilde and Tausch with me, because it's some of the day. Gabe Neitzel in for Wilde, along with Mark Tauscher. Where is Jesse, by the way, since we're stepping into now Whoa Hunter?
I think he's golfing or something. I don't know. He's
or some.
Yeah.
One of his hobbies.
He's the king of midweek vacation days.
All right. Well, we have Hunter producing today's fine program, so he's going to be asking us all the tough questions that we may have missed throughout today's Wilde and Tausch. It is time for Whoa, Hunter.
If the topic is good, the guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocker's house. His mama brought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I gotta stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for
Whoa, Nelly!
On Wilde and Tausch.
So, Gabe, in case you don't know this, I think I've told Tausch, I'm a huge college football fan.
Okay.
I'm more excited about the college football season than I am the NFL season. And I picked up Phil Steele's preview magazine the other night. And
always a good one.
Yep, went right to the Badgers because, of course, that's who I have to read first. And he has Wisconsin as his most surprising team of next year. I'm not completely sold on that. I'm excited about Luke Fickell, but are we overhyping this Badgers team for this next season?
I don't know if we're overhyping them, just because I think there's so much mystery. There was so much talent that came in through the transfer portal and so many changes that have to happen because of the different offense that they're doing and obviously a little bit of a different defense with not having Jim Leonard there anymore. So there are a lot of changes. I think right now, the way at least I feel about all the Badger talk, it's not necessarily excitement about 2023. It's excitement about what Luke Fickell can do for this program going forward. I don't know if I've heard much like, oh, the Badgers are going to win the Big Ten in 2023. That's nothing I've heard. It's been more of a big picture excitement versus, oh, we're really excited for 23, just because you don't know what the wide receivers are going to look like. You don't know what Mordecai is going to look like at quarterback. So I think there's just a lot of questions that people are excited to see what the answers are.
I do think one of the biggest things, the excitement, and we've talked a lot about the renewed optimism of what Badger fans are going to have because of what Gabe just mentioned, the transfer portal and the energy that Luke Fickell and his staff have brought in, and all of the recruiting wins that we're hearing and seeing for 2024 and potentially 2025. But I do think there's also this narrative that it's going to be easy. There's always this thought process, and I think even with Paul Chryst was the coach, that, all right, we're going to win the West. Can we beat Ohio State or Michigan? That's always been the thing. I don't think that's changed, and I think that's where we need to pump our brakes, because just like we were talking about the Packers and all of this new youth and experience and optimism and excitement, which is all great, it's really hard to just snap your fingers and all of that stuff gets implemented. So you're talking about a whole new offense, and you still have a lot of players that were here last year that have done things a certain way. Football is not just some easy thing where it's just, yep, that'll work. You have to work at it. You have to have the experiences, and you have to sometimes stub your toe. So while I think the schedule this year is very winnable in almost every game outside of Ohio State, I think you have to also say, tread carefully. It's not going to be – football ain't easy. Winning is really hard, especially at the highest levels. The margin of error on things is very small. And when you're implementing new things, whether it's putting in a new radio station and getting all the technical things, it doesn't always work as smooth as you hope. There are hiccups. Jody, we need Joe. We got this. How many times, Hunter, we do that when we move studios? That's the same type of thing that we're dealing with Wisconsin football. And to think that it's just going to be smooth sailing ahead, there's going to be some chop. What I love about it is I think they're going to handle the chop well. But, yes, I think looking at the expectations and getting a better understanding and just not thinking, yep, new coach, new atmosphere, new environment, new everything, we're going to win. Let's tread carefully.
Whoa, certainly that's not the expectation, but I think, again, if you're a Badger fan, just take a bigger picture look. Those are the conversations you want to have be down the line.
That's
never
easy to do in this climate.
It's never
not
easy
easy
especially
to do
Yeah, especially with the transfer portal, all that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is things. You better win now, and you better do it now because that's where our attention spans and fan bases are at.
Up next, I have a little bit of a bet with my wife. Tausch knows about this one. So I made a bet, Gabe, that if Oppenheimer outperforms the Barbie movie in the first weekend at the box office, I get to just get whatever my next tattoo I get to pick no matter what. If Barbie outperforms Oppenheimer, she gets 100% creative control over my next tattoo. They lifted the review embargo today, and Oppenheimer is sitting at a 96% on Rotten Tomatoes. Barbie's at a 93%. I should just take this as my only win that I'm going to get this weekend, right?
Probably. Personally, I'm more excited. Me and my wife are going to go see Oppenheimer at some point this weekend. Doubt we would go see Barbie. But, I mean, Barbie's going to run it away. First of all, I think we're bearing the lead. How many tattoos do you have, Hunter?
I'm up to 3 now.
Okay. So do you have kind of the spot, located, kind of scouted out where you want the next one to be?
Yeah, I've got an open spot on my forearm because I'm kind of working through some sort of a piece-together sleeve slowly, so I've got a spot for it.
I mean, there's a good chance that your wife just has you tattoo Barbie on your forearm, right? Like the word with the font the way it is, Barbie on your forearm. Like there's a real good chance of that happening, right?
Yeah, I feel like that's probably the route she's going to go. Either that or just an actual Barbie tattooed and kind of do like a pinup style of it. That's what I'm hoping for at least, so she'll be nice and it'll be cool. But I'm expecting hot pink, just the word Barbie.
Can someone explain to me why we care about Barbie at this point in our lives?
So I think it's hitting on a couple different things because I think Barbies are probably still a popular kids' toy. But
are
they're hitting. I don't know. I don't have kids. You tell me.
We are not a Barbie household, and my daughter is very into. So I just don't know because I think there's always the newest and hottest things out there and what people really want. Was there a clamoring for someone to do a movie about Barbie?
Well, I think it's almost, at least seeing the trailer for it, it seems like they're almost making fun of Barbie to an extent. Plus you got a blockbuster cast, right? You got Gosling, you got Margot Robbie, you got Will Ferrell in that movie, and you're hitting on nostalgia. Like, nostalgia is one of the most popular things in entertainment today, whether you're talking about TV or movies. So I think you hit on that nostalgia of people, in their mid to late 30s, early 40s who probably had a bunch of Barbies growing up. And, make it kind of funny, put a couple of actors that everybody likes in there, and it's going to, I think, do really well at the box office.
Whoa, Nelly! Now, quickly, going back to some college football talk, I saw a tweet wanting to know what the best uniform in college football is, and I always love this conversation. I don't think anything beats Penn State's road white uniforms because they're just so classic with the block navy blue. What's your guys' favorite college football uniform?
Ooh.
Non-Wisconsin.
Sure. I think when I look at it, I would say the Penn State's actually navy is a much better look than the all white on white, in my opinion. But I can never say Michigan or Ohio State just because I can't.
That's fair. I think that's fair.
UCLA. I love powder blue. I think powder blue is the most underrated color. I think it's the most underrated jersey. We always hear whenever the San Diego Chargers / LA Chargers now wear their bolts with their powder blues. It's the sexiest, best uniform out there. UCLA has that powder blue. I don't know if somebody else has it that's better, but give me powder blue, and I'm going to probably pick you.
I'm going to lean towards Notre Dame. Just classic. It's always clean. Kind of going with the navy, the gold. Every once in a while, they go to the green. Every time they do it, it just what always looks clean to me anytime Notre Dame's on TV. Pretty simple. Okay. Tausch and I had an opportunity, like you said, a week or two ago. We talked about a famous Packers game from 2003, all part of the Repackables pod, which is coming up at noon on social media, at ESPN Madison, at ESPN Milwaukee, or on both the YouTube pages. We'll preview that conversation Coming up next on Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com. You, rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Alex Strofe.
This Badger Minute brought to you by the Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company, Madison's home for craft beer and pub food since 1994. Find the Great Dane nearest you at greatdanepub.com. Former Wisconsin running back Melvin Gordon and many other NFL running backs are expressing their displeasure with NFL franchises and their treatment of the running back position. Gordon, who's currently a free agent, joined Wilde and Tausch last week to talk about the state of the running back position in the NFL.
You know, at this point in time, we're the ones that's getting filtered out. We making the same as long snappers and kickers, and you know, and it really sucks because you got college students making more than guys in the league.
Find the full interview with Melvin Gordon on Wisconsin On Demand or wherever you get your podcasts.
Pella's window and door design options are virtually limitless. Customize your order by August 31st, and you could bundle and save big at PellaWI.com.
Zimbrick Chevrolet.
When was the last time you had your oil changed or your tires rotated? Do you need new tires, a battery, perhaps some windshield wipers? Zimbrick Chevrolet Service Center is equipped to help you with routine maintenance, major repairs, and everything in between. Get your free battery inspection coupon and schedule an appointment today at ZimbrickChevrolet.com. Don't overpay. Shop Zimbrick Chevrolet on Main Street in Sun Prairie.
Main Street, Sun Prairie, Zimbrick Chevrolet.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
Oh, you forgot to clean out your backpack since school ended? Oh, rotten.
Let's make our windows.
Well, you make a great point. Tell you what, let's clean out your backpack and then we'll...
Kajinatawa from Pella.
Well, we can't do anything about rotten lunches. Pella's lifetime warranty on wood windows and doors makes it so that you'll never have to worry about rotting windows again. Right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, make payments as low as $35 per month per window and $78 per patio door. Visit PellaWI.com.
Listen to Madison Money Guy every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. on 100.5 ESPN and ESPNWisconsin.com.
I like to refer to inflation as the silent killer. It's an invisible risk. It's just the idea that things get more expensive over time. You're going to need milk and eggs when you're in your early 60s and when you're in your early 80s. You're going to get a loaf of bread, and it's going to be more expensive 20 years from now.
Christian Finfrock is the Madison Money Guy. Call him today at 208-1800.
In a land carved by glaciers and shaped by champions, Trapper's Turn is a specialty golfing experience. 27 holes designed by two-time U.S. Open champion Andy North present an enjoyable challenge at any level. Nestled between beautiful pines, the all-new 12 North Par 3 course offers the ultimate in golfing fun. Refuel and unwind with year-round dining in the heart of the picturesque Dells. Golf time is precious. Spend it somewhere beautiful. This is Trapper's Turn. Book your tee time at trappersturn.com.
We're on the Packers.
The NFC is mediocre to below mediocre.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
The Packers are not going to be some cellar-dwelling stink pot.
Nobody covers the green and gold like 100.5 ESPN.
Gabe Neitzel filling in as the cousin sub of the day for Jason Wilde for this final hour of Wilde and Tausch. Wilde will be back tomorrow, I'm sure, to recap all the different questions and answers that Mark Murphy gives during his media availability today. But Over the last couple of weeks, and it's going to continue all the way to the start of the season, we've been doing a fun podcast series right here at ESPN Wisconsin called Repackables. I host it. I've done a couple with some different teammates. Steve Scafidi and I talked about the Packers' Christmas Eve game against the Steelers in 1995, where Yancey Thigpen dropped the ball in the back of the end zone that gave the Packers their first NFC North, at that time NFC Central championship of this unbelievable run of quarterback play that they've had. Homer and I talked about a game in 1996 where the Packers had to come from behind to defeat the Rams. They never trailed in the second half after that game going forward. And then our game this week, we go to 2003. And Mark Tauscher, who played in a pretty important game in 2003 for the Packers, joined me for this one, Tausch. And it's the 2003 game against the Raiders, the day after Favre passed away. You guys were playing on Monday Night Football. Does this game kind of stand up there as one, when you think back on your career, is that one of the games that kind of stands out the most because of, A, everything that happened before the game, and then the way the game ended up being played and turning out?
Yeah, I don't think there was ever a game in any sport that I ever played that had more emotions attached to it than that one. And when you're talking about playing in playoff football, that emotions are always running high. But for this game, we obviously, going into it, we were out in Oakland. It was a Monday night game, and we knew we needed to win because we got off to a slow start. We had to win out in order to get in the playoffs and still get some luck. And that when we landed, it was pretty much a normal operation. We were going to go to the hotel. We were going to get ready. And then at that point in time, cell phones were around, but it wasn't, where we're at now where communication happens like that. And we started kind of getting whisperings that something had happened. And Cliffy and I shared a room, and it was like, hey, what did you hear? We went out to dinner and got back, and we had unfortunately found out that Brett's dad had passed, and Brett had learned it when he was out on a golf course with Doug Peterson and with Ryan Longwell. So at that point, as a teammate, you just don't know what you should do and how that's going to all play out, and if he's going to play. And so there was just so much just emotions running, and I'll never forget. And I get chills, my goosebumps. You can see they just pop up when we went down into that team meeting room before our, that Saturday night meeting. And just the amount of love and support that every guy in that room had when Brett and everybody kind of let us know that we were going to play that game, and we were going to win that game in honor of Favre, and to help a teammate who was obviously, you could tell Brett was beaten down because it's such a monumental loss for everybody that's lost a dad. That room and that meeting and all of the stuff that was said and that happened, it's a spot you never want to be in, but once you're in it, it's left a monster memory and an emotion for me that I don't know if you'll ever be able to understand it if you weren't in that room.
No, I doubt. I mean, I thought you did a great job in our conversation trying to explain it the best you could. I remember the feelings I had sitting at home watching that game. If you get an opportunity, it's on YouTube. Go back and watch that game. But it was pretty cool to see how everybody rallied. And not even just you guys, fans that were known to be hostile in Oakland the way they
fans,
rallied.
Yeah, crazy.
Around Brett
Crazy
Favre
time
as well.
Yep, I'll never forget thinking what that fan base was going to do. And when they cheered him in warm-ups for when they were doing the announcements, I knew it was going to be a great night for the Green Bay Packers.
So tune in to ESPN Milwaukee or ESPN Madison on Twitter or their YouTube pages. Tausch and I have more of that conversation on repackables around that game in 2003. He's Mark Tausch. I'm Gabe Neitzel, cousin sub of the day. Wilde will be back tomorrow. This has been Wilde and Tausch.
Miss any of today's episode of Wilde and Tausch? Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin? Commercial